There's a live shot of Pac Bell Park in San Francisco. Another sellout is expected for Game 2 of this 3-game set between the Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi, everybody. Once again, I'm Dan McLaughlin alongside of Al Raboski. We're certainly glad you're with us here from Pac Bell Park in San Francisco. Let's start with this. Number one, Cardinals got to win tonight, don't they?
Well, they really do. They've been struggling up late. They've lost 5 of the last 7. But tonight you ask Garrett Stephenson to continue his winning ways. But you just got to pitch a little better, and you can't make careless pitches at wrong times.
And this Giants team has been red hot. They have won 7 straight and 7 straight here at home after starting out the season 0-5. But Stephenson has been a guy that's gotten great run support for whatever reason for the Cardinals, and he'll take it.
Well, that's right. He's 4-0 on the season, but he probably should be 6-0. The club has responded, scoring an average of 9 runs per start, and he has never faced the Giants, and that usually is an indication where the pitcher has the advantage.
Now on the flip side, Stephenson facing Barry Bonds. He's never faced him, and right now Barry Bonds homerless in his last 5 games. Kind of quiet so far in this series.
Well, let's hope we can keep him that way. Let's hope the Cardinals bats are booming and they continue. They had 3 home runs last night, but we didn't win.
Tell us a little bit about Russ Ortiz, the young right-hander for San Francisco. 18-game winner in his first full Major League season a year ago.
18-game winner, but the one thing that he does, he had a league-high 125 walks. Now, the one thing he's trying to do is control that a little better, and there are mixed results. He works very deep in counts, throws an awful lot of pitches, but he is very talented. He has a natural little cut to his fastball, pretty good breaking ball, and a changeup.
Al, a big question with fans back home. How do you get Ray Lankford going tonight?
Well, you know, it's a $1 million question, or maybe in today's baseball, the $100 million question. But, you know, Ray Lankford, you know, when you look at his 10-year career as a Cardinal, he ranks among most of the top sluggers in many of the categories. And we both talked to Tony, where he says, I've got to talk to him right now and find out, am I doing him a favor, or am I putting him in under the gun by continuing to leave him in tough situations? But knowing Ray, I think he's going to say, I want to keep up there and bat in those situations, and eventually I'll break out.
Al, we talked about it in our tease. These two teams and these organizations have great tradition. And when we come back, Al Raboski will be alongside the Hall of Famer Red Shades. That should be a lot of fun. Al with Red is up next on Fox Sports Net.
Welcome back to Pacific Bell Park. Red Shandy's the Hall of Famer. How do you like this new ballpark?
Well, it's better than the other one, I'll tell you that. I'm glad we're here and got out of that old Candlestick Park. As you know, years ago, it was worse than it was at the last 4 or 5 years. But this is a big, big improvement by far.
Let's go back to Candlestick because, you know, the Giants have had some terrific ball players, just like the Cardinals, but there were some tremendous players that played in those parks.
Well, they were outstanding. You had the McCoveys, the Mays, and so many other ones, the Marshalls and the Perrys, and you'll keep on going. And I know the ballpark itself was tough to play in. During the day, it was pretty good, in which they played quite a few day games there, which was a real blessing, because that park was tough to play in, Al.
And, of course, Red, you could come out on the West Coast those days, and some of the pitchers that you'd match up where some of your hitters would take an offer.
Well, then I know you go back and you'd hit the Dodgers and you'd hit the San Francisco, San Diego. They all had great starting pitching, and of course there was only 8 teams in the league at the time, and so you'd run up against somebody. Every club had their 5 starters or 4 starters, or however they put it, and it was just tough. You didn't see an easy guy at any time, and then they run into that bullpen. They always had guys out there that could blow that ball.
When you look back at your career and you look at today's players, you guys had a lot more camaraderie, probably had more fun because you were dependent upon each other, but you've had friendships that have lasted a lifetime, haven't you?
Well, Al, you know, they have great friendships now, traveling with this ball club and being around since I've been out of the game as far as coaching and manager, just doing what I'm doing now. They got great ball players today, outstanding ball players on all your clubs. It's a little different game, there's no question, and I know everybody talks about the ball being more alive, and I'm sure it is. It's hard is what it is. There's no seams on it, but I think they do take too much away from the pitcher, and especially the strike zone. They don't call that pitch up around the letters, which that ball was hard to hit when these guys used to ride that thing in there. And I don't know how hard it was, and we didn't have guns in them days.
Red, you're in the Hall of Fame, but with the lively baseball, with all the offense today, are you going to have to change some of the statistics that you think of that qualify for the Hall of Fame?
Oh, I don't think so, Al. I think that in the years when we were playing, it was a little different ball and a little different game completely than it is now. But all in all, I don't think so. You got better equipment today than we had years ago. You got better ballparks. You got better everything. So it's for the good of the game, I think.
Red, it's always a pleasure. I'm so happy you're traveling with us because we have so much fun with the Hall of Famer. Hey, this is a new ballpark, but it's a fair ballpark, and we're going to get in closer to first pitch. So stay with us. We'll take a timeout now, and we'll be coming close to that first pitch right here from Pacific Ballpark.
There's Al's yacht. I promise it is. He brought a whole crew of people here to San Francisco to pack Ballpark to check out Cardinal baseball. Game 2 of this 3-game set. Admit it, you can afford a yacht like that, right?
That sits on my yacht.
Yeah.
that's the little, little commuter boat.
I understand. Last night, a 6-4 loss for the St. Louis Cardinals, and a long ball early on for the Cardinals. 3 long home runs in the first off the bat of Mark McGwire.
Well, Mark McGwire gets the first run off the Giants in 26 innings. His 534th home run. He gets out into right center, and we thought we had something going. Then Larry Sutton, a pinch hit home run. He hits this one into right field. J.D. Drew in the 8th inning hits one that goes over the wall and out to the back.
But not into McCovey Cove. We had home runs, but they did as well, and it came from their catcher,
Bobby
Estelella.
He in the 2nd inning. This is a 3-run home run. It's a hanging slider, and it goes out here. And then later on, he does it again in the 8th inning. This time off of Mike James. They say that was down. No, it wasn't. It was up and in a bad zone for him also.
He had 4 RBIs, and certainly he was the difference in last night's game. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, we hit 3 home runs. He hit 2. They outscored us, but that was last night. We have to do better tonight.
Now let's talk about little man's baseball, and that means Fernando Vina. And boy, he can generate basically any which way. He gets hit by pitches, he walks, and he also can drive the baseball.
Well, it's 2 for 4 last night. He should have been 4 for 4. Ellis Burks makes a sliding catch, takes one away in the 5th. But this was a sensational catch. That one was in the 5th inning with a runner on base. He thought he had a triple, maybe even inside the Parker. There's where he makes things happen with his 2nd hit. And you saw Renteria go in 3rd. In the 9th inning, you need base runners, so he does what he has to do to get on base. He lets the ball hit him.
And he's part of our Hyundai key matchup on the road. Fernando Vina hitting .412, on base percentage .516, 6 doubles and 1 triple. What a way to start the season for Fernando Vina, along with Jim Edmonds.
Well, that's the 3rd best road average in the National League. Of course, Jim Edmonds is _1, so we have some weapons when we take to the road.
Let's talk about this pitching pairing today. A couple of right-handers, Garrett Stephenson, Russ Ortiz. Stephenson 4-0, Ortiz 2-3, but these two are pretty good young pitchers.
Well, Garrett Stephenson, as mentioned, he has never faced these guys, but he's ready for the challenge. And he keeps on lurking in the background as the knowledge that Matt Morris is coming back, so he has to keep on impressing. And Ortiz is 2-3 on the year. He still walks an awful lot of guys. He has a great arm, a power arm, and he's 1-0 against the Cardinals in his lifetime.
Those starters brought to you by your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers. Well, as I mentioned, this is game 2 of this 3-game set here in San Francisco. Al Rabowski, Dan McLaughlin, we're certainly glad you're with us here on Fox Sports Net. Mark McGwire hit his 534th career home run in the 6th inning last night, and he is now tied with Jimmy Fox for 9th place on the all-time home run list. Fernando Vina will lead things off for St. Louis, and he'll go against a team that is red hot in San Francisco. San Francisco has now won a season-high 7 straight games, and they own the best mark in the majors. Since April 21st, they've gone 13-2, better than 800%. Let's take a look at the Cardinal batting order, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Well, you just saw Fernando Vina, who'll lead things off for St. Louis, followed by Renteria. Then Langford is in there once again. You see Renteria really struggling in his last 8 games. McGuire bat fourth, followed by Edmonds, Paquette, J.D. Drew. Eli Marrero gets the start tonight, and Garrett Stephenson on the mound. On the mound for San Francisco, young right-hander Russ Ortiz.
Young 25-year-old right-hander, an 18-game winner last year in his first full season at the major league record, or at the level. These are the numbers this year, and look at the walks. 23 walks, 21 strikeouts last season. Even though he won 18 games, he led the National League with 125 walks.
Despite losing 5 of their last 7 games, the Cardinals are in first place in the NL Central Division with a 3-game lead on Cincinnati. Cincinnati tonight was winning in their game 2-0, and that was in the 7th inning at last check. Vina to lead things off for St. Louis. Vina, Renteria, and Langford, if anybody can reach. Then Mark McGuire. First pitch is high and away. First pitch at 7:16 local time here on the West Coast. 320 at 328.
328 average, and we talked about with the wildness of Ortiz, you're going to make him throw strikes.
Paul Emmel behind the plate. Davis, Joyce, Rieker on the infield are umpires for tonight. Vina last night was 2 for 4. And the 1-1 pitch into center field. Shallow. Breaking back was Bernard. Coming hard and not making the play is Bernard, and it's a leadoff base hit for Vina. That is the big concern with Marvin Bernard, is that he breaks back on many baseballs. Did so there. Bonds, Bernard, Rios gets the start for Bergson right in the outfield for San Francisco tonight. Miller, Aurelia, Kent, and Snow on the infield. Estrella behind the plate. For San Francisco, Ortiz on the mound.
If you keep on saying Estrella, you might, I've been making you practice on that. That'll wait, Danny.
You just don't want to say it, making me practice. I know your game.
Don't be using my line of Bobby. Estrella.
There you go. I like Bobby better. Here's Renteria.
I didn't like him last night.
No, I didn't either, with those 4 RBIs, and basically single-handedly won that game for San Francisco.
By the way, he was Garrett Stephenson's catcher for most of last year, or 2 years ago,
right?
When they were in the Phillies organization.
Ortiz is set. 1-0 the count on Renteria. Ortiz became the Giants' top winner in just his first full season in the big leagues last season. He was 18-9. And now really the only real flaw last year was his control. 3 or more walks in 34 outings. He goes deep into the count with many batters. Next to Renteria. Ground ball left side and a base hit. Vina was off with a pitch. Now he's off to third. And that'll be first and third in aggressive baseball to start this one here in San Francisco.
Well, that's what you got to do. You got to be a little lucky if you want to try and break some of these losing streaks or make things happen. Renteria had a perfect opportunity with Vina running. He saw the shortstop, went to cover second. Billy Emilio, third baseman, couldn't come over there. And the Cardinals this quickly have first and third situation. Vina had the play in front of him, tries to challenge Barry Bonds and makes it without a play.
In steps Ray Langford with Vina at third and Renteria at first. First and third, nobody out to start things off for St. Louis here in the first. In steps Ray, who had a couple of hits last night but struck out in a key situation, was second and third in last night's ball game. Struck out against Alan Embry. Nobody out. First pitch misses. On deck, it's McGuire.
And Tony told us both that we asked about that situation. See, 1 for 1 against Ortiz. He was 1 for 2 against Alan Embry, and he wanted to talk to Ray. He felt like, you know, what am I doing? Am I helping you if I pinch hit for you in that situation, or do you want to battle through this slump and leave you in?
That catches the corner, evens the count. At that point, Tony La Russa could have gone to Davis, could have gone to Howard, Blanco, Dunston. Instead, he stuck with Ray Langford. He said another reason why, too, Al, is that it's so early in the season He wants to stick with Langford. Now, if you're talking August or September, it's a different story.
Well, he'll find a little more of a track record for this year.
Right.
Another aspect which almost came about, and that was if he would have gone to Dunston, and that's who he said he would have gone to, is there in the 9th inning. If Renteria would not have lined into the double play, Langford's spot would be up with Rob Nen, a right-hander, on the mound.
Renteria was off and running, but fouled away by Langford. Edgar has 3 stolen bases on the season.
Sometimes the armchair quarterbacks don't have all the information or don't play the full game.
And to understand, too, Ray had got a hard hit base hit, and he also had another bloop hit. Sometimes that's the kind of thing that can get you going.
Yeah. And remember, too, of all the replacements, Ray is still the best defensive man in the outfield. Defense usually wins your game.
Yes, it does. And by the way, after he struck out, remember, next half he made a good defensive play.
Yes, he did.
And I don't think Dunston probably would have made that play.
And the thing is, it's 162 games. We still have a 3-game lead.
Yep. One ball, 2 strikes. Ortiz is set. And it's fouled once again by Langford. Fouled off his foot.
Yeah. He's feeling that now. Barry Weinberg will come out and give him some sympathy. He'd rather have ethyl chloride.
Yeah.
The freeze. Really high on the inside the.
It's a cool night here in San Francisco. A lot of times on those kind of foul balls, those can tighten up very quickly. They've gotten it off the right knee.
Yeah,
the inside
just
of the knee.
above the right knee. Looked like the cutter. And I mean, it's a fastball that Ortiz throws, but it has a natural cut, so it'll come right into the left-handed batter away from a right-hander.
First and third, nobody out here in the first. Langford has 12 RBIs on the season. Ortiz is set. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Renteria is safe at first, and it's 2-2. McGuire waits on deck. Russ Ortiz getting the start tonight from Encino, California, 25-year-old. Selected by San Francisco in the 4th round in 1995.
Attended the University of Oklahoma.
Yeah. 2-2 pitch. Fouled away again by Ray. Here in San Francisco on a beautiful night.
That is also a launch that I put on top of my yacht.
We know you can afford those yachts. You're not kidding anybody. They want to see a Ray Langford home run into McCovey Cove. He had the chance to walk around the ballpark, Al, and experience it not only inside on the field but outside. It's tremendous.
No, I just settled for the grass.
The grass?
I went out to early batting practice today. And
swing and a miss, and Langford strikes out. He's not doing his job, and he is the first strikeout victim for Russ Ortiz.
You don't win 18 games without being a little tough when you get runners on.
And he is tough there. Opponents hitting 180 against Ortiz. In steps McGuire. He has homered in 9 of his last 14 games, including last night when he connected for an NL leading 12th home run. He didn't hit his 12th home run, Al, until May 22nd of last year, and that was the Cards' 41st game of the '99 campaign.
And they've played 32 this year.
First pitch to McGuire. A rope, left side on a base hit. Off the glove of Kent and an RBI. On his way to third goes Renteria. Vina scores. Renteria third and McGuire another RBI. He is now tied with Jim Edmonds for the team lead. They both have 26.
Mark hits the ball so hard, and look at that ball coming right at you. The second baseman, Kent, who's playing on the shortstop side of second base, he can deflect it, and that probably helped Renteria to scoot on over to third base. But even when they play three on the left field side of second, if he has to hit it right at someone, because if it's a step or two away, he hits it so hard they can't catch it.
In steps Edmonds. Fooled by that pitch.
A changeup right there, and Ortiz is getting some mileage out of that. And of course, Jim Edmonds, unbelievable what he's done in the National League with this average, and because most of the time he's seen pitchers he has never faced before.
0-2 the count. Jim Edmonds featured on Cardinals Tonight, our pregame show on Fox Sports Net. Home games, road games at 3:20 or better. You surprised there hasn't been an adjustment period for him?
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I mean, that's
got him there. Good pitch by Ortiz. 3 straight to Edmonds. He goes down swinging. Second strikeout for Russ Ortiz. Take a look at that last pitch.
There's that nifty little curveball. Tight rotation.
Two outs now, and in steps Paquette. Now, you mentioned you were throwing batting practice. Paquette was taking extra batting practice today.
Nick Craig, Larry Sutton, and also Mike Matheny came out and had a little fun for about an hour.
We touched upon it last night, along with Renteria, and prior to Tatis being hurt. And you can throw Paquette now in there. 3 guys that are somewhat pulling off the baseball.
And it's and Pokey knows he's doing it. It's just easier said than done.
He was 0 for 4 last night. Swing and a miss.
There's a great example right there. You know, you're standing a little bit erect and kind of pulling off that pitch. Now, it's a little better than what we've seen, but that is the pitch you see how he's, instead of striding towards the pitcher, which will put you in your hands in a position where you take it up the middle or to the opposite field, kind of reaching for it.
1-2. 115 with runners in scoring position. No hits in his last 18 at-bats.
Streaks follow streaks.
Yep.
In the bad one, a good one soon to follow.
1 ball, 2 strikes. That gets away, and here comes a run to score. And just like that, 2-0 St. Louis. McGuire moves up to second, and it's 2-0 as Renteria crosses the plate.
Now that makes it a little more interesting. Trying to wrap that curveball, and boy, very terrible technique. Once again, you cannot appreciate how good Matheny and Marrero are blocking balls in the dirt. I guarantee you that extra run would not score against a Cardinal catcher.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Now full count. Allen, 280 innings behind the plate. The Cardinal catchers, Matheny and Marrero, have not committed an error this season. That makes the Cards the only big league team without a miscue from their backstops.
And how many have they saved, whether it's pass balls or wild pitches, for their pitching staff?
Paquette pops it up. Shallow left. Bond's coming and making the play. Just like a candlestick, a high pop-up can play tricks on you. The Cardinals against Russ Ortiz played a couple in the first. Is for certain the Cardinals offense scores runs, and a lot of runs for Garrett Stephenson. They get a couple in the first. Let's take a look at the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for San Francisco. Bernard to lead things off, followed by Miller, then Bonds. 1 for 15 in his last 4 games. Kent, Snow, Rios, Aurelia, Estrella, and Ortiz. On the mound, Garrett Stephenson.
Garrett Stephenson coming off his best outing when he ran his record to 4-0. The ERA will come down a little bit. Not distinguish himself with a good strikeout to walk ratio, but the biggest thing is at the major league level is wins. He's 4-0.
This is Marvin Bernard. He was 1 for 4 with a run scored last night, average at .221. Couple homers, 9 RBIs. Then it's Miller and Bonds. And it's quickly 2-0. Paquette in on the grass at third. Outfield straight away. 2-0 pitch. Catches the corner, 2-1. Marvin Bernard, the 30-year-old from Nicaragua. Popped up. Into left. Langford backing up and making the play. Well, the Cardinals played their 22nd errorless game of the year last night and rank as the top fielding club in the majors. Langford, Edmonds, and Drew in the outfield tonight. Paquette, Renteria, Vina, McGuire on the infield. Behind the plate, Eli Morero.
Garrett Stephenson coming off that game versus Pittsburgh where he went 7 2/3 innings, a 3-hit shutout baseball. He did walk 6 and strike out 6 in that contest.
Here's Billy Miller, the St. Louisan.
Gene Klein's the hitting coach for the Giants, saying Billy's much stronger this season, hitting the ball a lot harder.
Do you remember Bill Miller when he played at either DeSmet or Southwest Missouri State? Remember hearing about him at all?
No.
Out of nowhere he came.
But that's not surprising for me, but for you it probably would be.
Hit to the right side. Vina to McGuire, makes a nice play. Playing in front of family and friends is Fernando Vina, and he's had a nice series so far.
That's a great play by Fernando Vina. One, to get to it, to slide, knock it down, and look at grab it on the run and spin and throw it out. But it's also, that is an indication of what's been happening to Bill Miller. They say he's hit in the toughest luck, whether they're line drives or plays made against him, just like this. That's outstanding. And of course we expect that from Vina, the way he's been all year.
Oh. In steps Barry Bonds. Bonds now 36 years of age.
Well, I tell you what, Garrett is just painting that outside corner.
One ball, one strike on Barry Bonds. Next pitch, swing and a miss. Bonds, the only player in Major League history with 400 home runs and 400 steals. In '96, he was 40-40 at 42 home runs and 40 stolen bases. Only 2 others have ever done it: Canseco and Alex Rodriguez. Popped a mile high in right field. J.D. Drew at the track and in front of the wall and puts it away for the 3rd out. And a nice start for Garrett Stephenson. 1, 2, 3. J.D. Drew had that last putout. He'll lead things off in the 2nd. In History is brought to you by Schnucks, and that is Roger Maris. May 9th, 1967. Maris hit his first National League home run in a Cardinals game at Pittsburgh. The ball was caught by a spectator in row 9, seat 9. Maris broke into the major leagues in 1957 with Cleveland with a 9-game hitting streak, and there is one of his best friends, and that is Mr. Mike Shannon. Remember all the stories that you heard about when McGuire was going for the single-season home run record? You heard an awful lot about Mike Shannon and his relationship with Roger Maris. Bonds comes up gunning, making the wide turn, and staying at first is J.D. Drew. A leadoff base hit, though, here in the 2nd for J.D.
You know, J.D. left the batter's box thinking 2, and then with the quickness of Bonds getting to the ball and firing it back in, even though it was a little bit wide, but Barry comes over, cuts it off, and that's all you have to do. When you make that quick throw and get it back to the infield, that'll stop most runners.
JD had to retreat back to first. A leadoff base hit here in the second. That brings in Eli Marrero. It's 2-0 St. Louis. Cardinals already have 4 hits. And we've just begun play here in San Francisco in the second. Eli shows bunt, pulls back, takes a strike.
You know, we in this era where we talk about home runs and the Cardinals already have 70. Eli has belted 4 home runs in just 31 at bats. He hit 6 home runs in 317 at bats last season.
And you talked about it on Sunday in Cincinnati when he played that game, and he had a home run there, one of his 4, to dead center field. You watch him take batting practice, you see a different hitter this year.
Well, his bat is so alive, and he's starting to help himself. He was his own worst enemy. See this season and the comparisons of a year ago. And remember, he was playing virtually every day, but now sparingly, and I think he's more relaxed. He's sitting there and hitting, and he has confidence in his ability.
JD not going anywhere, and it's popped up behind home plate. And that'll find the 6. The youngster thought he could make a play, but just misjudged it. You know, it's tough even for those young guys to judge those fly balls, Al.
Yeah, well, he was going to be a big leaguer someday.
That looked like some big leaguers.
Well, you know, the wind.
That's
right. He didn't play the wind. He
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Lost it in the sun.
That might be 2. Miller to Kent, and he dropped it.
I'll tell you what.
Safe at second.
Billy Miller threw the ball too hard. Jeff Kent, that's his first error in, I believe, going back to last year, 68
right.
games. Is that right?
Yep.
But watch Billy Miller. Throws a seed to him, and now you still have to make that play. But when you're coming over as a second baseman, you're not anticipating a ball thrown that hard.
Al Kent had not made an error since August 2nd of last year, and you're right, that spanned 68 games. First error on the season for Kent. Now it's first and second, nobody out for Garrett Stephenson. Chance here to help himself. How many times, though, have we seen Stephenson? Seems like every game we do, Al, that he's pitching, number 1, there's guys on base, and he comes up to hit.
Well, he's 0 for 12 on the season, and he's had some tough times of laying down a bunt. The only pitcher, or the only starter without a hit.
Miller way in at third, as well as J.T. Snow at first. First pitch way upstairs. On deck, the top of the order, and Fernando Vina. There's the secret weapon, Jose Oquendo.
Kyle doesn't have a hit yet. I thought he had one.
This Cardinal pitching staff has hit pretty well. Throw in Ankiel and then Henkin with the way that he has swung so far. Pitching staff has done a good job. We're in the second, and it's 2-0 St. Louis. J.D. Drew is at second base. Eli Marrero at first. 1 ball, no strikes. Stephenson squares. Pops it up over J.T. Snow, but foul.
Normally in this situation, you do not want to bunt it to first.
No.
That ball was bunted so poorly it ended up being okay. As J.T., the first baseman and a Gold Glover, comes charging in, he hits it, punches at it. There was his first mistake over the head, and then it rolled foul.
And you want to catch the ball with the bat.
Right. Well, you can't do it that way. That's, you know.
That's the idea, though.
Yeah. Oh, definitely the idea. But how he was doing it was the opposite.
No.
But see, in this situation, you want to bunt it down third base. You want to bunt it hard enough to get by the pitcher and make the third baseman vacate the bag and come in and field it.
1-1. Now 2-1.
You always want to give yourself up, have the flexibility in your knees, have the barrel slightly higher than the handle, and really almost use it like a glove. You let the ball come to you, and then when the ball hits the bat, you kind of deaden it, soften it with your hands.
2 balls, 1 strike.
There's what you want.
Good job by Stephenson. Ortiz slips a bit, but on to first, and now it's 2nd and 3rd and 1 out for Fernando Vina, who has hit the ball hard every single at bat, with the exception of the 9th inning last night when he was hit by a pitch.
But when he was hit by a pitch, he did it himself.
Yes, he did.
Ideally, you'd like to do it a little bit harder so the third baseman fields it. He retreated back, pitcher fields it, but he only had 1 play, and that was at first. So you had accomplished the job. You get runners to 2nd and 3rd. And Vina, who really has struggled with runners in scoring position, but he's more adept at scoring runs.
Chance here to pick up some RBIs. He has 5 on the season. Leads the team with 42 hits. 179 though with runners in scoring position. 1 hit in his last 19 at bats with runners in scoring position. And you know Vina is well aware of that stat and wants to improve upon that here.
Well, Fernando's just been phenomenal in doing what he does best. That's get on base, scoring runs, spraying the ball around. When you get into an RBI situation, you have to be very patient, and that is one of the fortes. So it's something that's kind of askew there, that he hasn't been successful. The pitcher is the one under pressure.
1 ball, 1 strike. 2nd and 3rd, only 1 out. A drive into right field. Rios giving chase over his head. That'll go to the wall. 1 run is going to score. Barrero around 3rd. He's going to score. Here comes Vina on his way home. Here's the throw. He scores. Vina. What a job with a drive to right. 3-run score. 5-0 St. Louis.
Danny, that was the same play that Ellis Burks took away from Vina last night. And I talked to Ellis about the play, and he said he thought he tracked that ball, and then it just took off and went over his head. Rios is probably, 5-6 inches shorter, and probably that is the difference in an inside the park home run and a ball being caught. Got right over his head, right into the deepest part of the field. Breaking ball, he hammers it into right center. Rios gave chase, and now the umpires have got a discussion going on. I can't imagine what it could be. And Vina raced around very aggressively, and the throw was offline. He didn't even have to slide. So an inside the park home run.
And I think they may be discussing that the ball might have been stuck after it went to the wall.
Well, see, it's also the job of the outfielder. So you got underneath there.
Put your hands up.
You put your hands up or something like that. But I think that's fine. You know, if it gets stuck in between, you know, the padding or something like that, that's where it is a judgment call, and they can take it away from you.
Last home run. There you saw it for Vina. The truck timed it around the bases for Vina from the time the ball left his bat. Under 14 seconds. We'll circle the bases for Fernando, and home run number 1 and inside the Parker. Why not? He has hit the ball in the series, Al, every single time he's put the bat on the ball.
And no longer do the Cardinals have a position player without a home run.
That is right. Here's Renteria. A drive into left field. Bonds going back, looking up, and that ball clears the fence. Renteria goes deep. It's 6-0 St. Louis against Ortiz, and Renteria with home run number 6, back-to-back Vina and Renteria.
Ortiz came into this action giving up 7 home runs in 38 and 2/3 innings. And Dave Righetti's going to go talk to his young pitcher, who's a little shell-shocked right now. He hadn't been good from the start. There's a fastball, and Renteria turns on it and just hits a line drive over the head of Bonds and sneaks over the fence. Watch the ball. Supposed to be away. And look at the catcher's glove come in there. But that is something that, if the ball is down, that Renteria can really jump on this ball. He hits a solid line drive and sneaks over the wall. He has his 6th home run of the year, and the Cardinals have a 6-0 lead.
Oh, we said in our open, these Cardinals get some run support for Garrett Stephenson. 6-0 here in the second.
Don't stop now.
No. Here's Langford with McGuire on deck. And still only one out.
Very uncharacteristic for the Giants of late to have a starting pitcher struggle early.
Mark Gardner is warming up in that Giant bullpen already here in the second. Dusty Baker may have to go to him. Ray struck out his first time up. He had runners in scoring position his first time up and struck out. 2 balls and 1 strike on Langford. Good start to this game, to say the least, for the Cardinals. Right back up the middle and a base hit over the head of Ortiz and into center field. Another hit for the Cardinals. And that is their 4th hit this inning and 3rd consecutive hit.
Let's go back to Renteria's home run. Middle half in, and he really turned on that ball. He is so much stronger. And if you get that ball up, he'll have a tendency to chase it and get himself out. But if you throw that ball in there and it's not in far enough and it's in the strike zone, that's his pitch.
Brings in McGuire. Langford off and running. He's got himself a stolen base, number 2 on the season for Ray. Up 6-0. The Cardinals are still being aggressive. You got to like that, Al.
Well, this is where some of the old rules have changed.
Yeah.
And when Dusty and I played, somebody did that to you. You know, you get a little upset. But you can't do it today because with everyone scoring runs, when do you have a safe lead?
That's exactly right. 1 ball, no strikes on McGuire. McGuire's next home run will move him past Jimmy Fox, and then up next it's Mickey Mantle.
2 away from tying the Mick now.
Two balls, no strikes. Next to McGuire. 2-1.
When you go back to Marrero hitting the ball, I don't think they would have been able to turn double play, but they at least would have had the second out of the inning.
The air by Kent, his first in 68 games. 2-1 the count on McGuire. Edmonds on deck. Foul back, and it's 2-2. Take a look at our Casino Queen leaderboard. Career home runs, the all-time leaders. Hank Aaron, of course, at 755. McGuire 534. Tied with Jimmy Fox, and then only 2 behind Mantle. You figure Schmidt, Jackson, Killebrew, they're all within reach this season for Big Mac.
Yeah, that's the thing is where is he going to end up on that leaderboard?
That's exactly right. Another ball that gets by Estalella. That gets away from him. Langford moves up to third. And with less than 2 outs, another RBI opportunity here for the Cardinals and McGuire.
A career game last night, and now maybe the reality is set in. That's not that tough. And it's a pass ball.
First base is open. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Edmonds on deck. And McGuire held up. Walk issued by Ortiz, and that brings in Edmonds. And this is the difference in the Cardinals in 2000. McGuire can walk, and then you bring in a dangerous man in Jim Edmonds. Let's see, Al, if he held up.
Okay.
No comment.
Don't ask a pitcher that. Even if it's an old pitcher. Dusty making the slow walk that he did not want to make, and now the signal to the bullpen.
Dusty Baker in his 8th season at the helm of the Giants, and he makes the call to the bullpen. And this call to the bullpen is brought to you by Lowe's. Lowe's, improving home improvement. Mark Gardner will enter this game to pitch for San Francisco. He'll enter with first and third occupied. But how about this? The damage done against Russ Ortiz, the young right-hander. Fernando Vina, his first home run in 2000. Inside the park, 3 runs would score, and the Cardinals are off and running in San Francisco tonight. It's 6-0 St. Louis. Back to Pac Ballpark in San Francisco. Great start for the Cardinals, and Mark Gardner has taken over for Russ Ortiz, the 38-year-old right-hander. In long relief this season. First pitch to Edmonds is in there for a strike, and he has got his work cut out for him here. Only one out. The deal with Edmonds, and first and third are occupied for the Cardinals. Chance here to add to that 6-0 lead. Edmonds last night was 1 for 3. 1 ball and 1 strike on the Cardinals center fielder. How many times have you seen that average dip under 400 this season for Edmonds? It's now at 398. First time up, he struck out.
Can't like that.
No, you can't. The way that he goes, though, he'll turn that around very fast. Gardner looks in. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Edmonds. 2-2. Edmonds came in as one of 2 players in the majors batting .400 or better. The other is Vladimir Guerrero, hitting .407 for the Montreal Expos. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now a full count.
Mark Gardner is going to be the long man facing the Cardinals after going and was part pitcher. He went 1-1 with an 8.31 ERA in 2 starts and is unscored upon in 2 relief appearances.
Full count on Edmonds. Runner goes, and that's fouled away into the seats. Gardner has not pitched since April 25th when he defeated the Marlins. 2 innings pitched in that game. Gave up 2 hits, a couple of strikeouts. And now Gardner battled through a shoulder injury a year ago, and he was 5-11 this season in long relief. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Next to Edmonds. Check swing. A swinging bunt and a base hit for Edmonds. And a run scores. Another RBI for Edmonds. Langford crosses the plate. 7-0 now, St. Louis. And the RBI for Edmonds is number 27.
Well, sometimes when you are a .400 hitter, you have to have some good luck, and here it is. Tried to check his swing. Gardner saw him come in there, and he took his eye off it, looked up the plate, and didn't have his hand on the ball. So it's a base hit and RBI on just a little check swing. It's like the Cardinals are going to have a little fun and
a little luck on their side.
Stevens, I think Garrett can pitch more frequently.
7-0 now. Cardinals on top, and now it's first and second. And in steps Paquette, the only man that has not been to the plate in this inning. J.D. Drew started the inning out with a base hit.
Have some fun. Join the crowd here, Pokey.
Paquette was 0 for 4 with a strikeout last night. 10 of his 20 hits have been for extra bases. See if he can find a gap here. Hit into right. Shallow right field. Rios there. That's the second out here in the second. Cardinals in this inning have already played it 5 runs. And here is the 10th man to come to the plate. That is J.D. Drew. J.D. has a base hit tonight. There's Chelsea Clinton. And the man to her left is Lawrence Baer. He's the executive vice president and CEO. Here at Pac Ballpark, the chairperson of Pac Bell Project. He was the man, Al, that hired HOK Sports to design the park and engineered the successful voter campaign. He's trying to bring the 2012 Olympics to the Bay Area. He's a busy man. Now time is called. Eli Marrero waits on deck, and this is J.D. Drew. 1 for 1 tonight, 1 for 1 in this inning. Has a home run in this series, his 6th. 6 of the 19 hits for J.D. Drew have been home runs. 1 ball, 1 strike. They set up outside, hit the spot. J.D. in the hole, 1 and 2.
First time up, he hit the ball out to left field. That was out away from him.
Two balls and 2 strikes now on Drew. Edmonds and McGuire are aboard at first and second. Good interview, Al, with Red Shandies in our pregame show tonight.
Hey, Red is the greatest, and I hope he travels with us. He's just fun to be around. And just a great baseball institution.
Estelé has been busy back there. Now full count. Thought you asked him a very good question. Should the criteria for modern day players, modern day meaning maybe the last 10 years or so, should they be changed, that criteria to be elected to the Hall of Fame? Next pitch to Drew. Into shallow center, slicing just a bit and getting down. 2 more runs are going to score. That ball gets to the wall. J.D. is 2 for 2 in the inning. He'll stand at second with the RBI double. Now 9-0 St. Louis.
It's going J.D. So he's got a single, a double. He will definitely have several more at-bats in his quest for the cycle. Ball out away from him, up a little bit. He plugs the gap out there in right center. And this was also something else on left center. This was something I was talking to Bernard about, where we saw Edmonds a couple deeper balls, where he said that sometimes they take off or other times they sink on you. And look at this one. Boy, this catcher. Everybody is, well, I mean, you see in the replay, just a half-hearted effort and just get, kind of looked up, and the ball got through him, and J.D. goes, watch the replay, watch the catcher here. I mean, he had to have been crossed up or something, but then you see that effort right there, that not even trying to get down and smother the ball or block it.
At the plate, it's Eli Marrero, and it's 1-1.
Say Ortiz was out of sync, but so is Estelella. There's Ortiz looking off.
1 ball, 1 strike. Gardner has been roughed up, coming in relief of Ortiz. Guests on Cardinal Baseball receive a gift certificate to Chevy's Fresh Mix. Stop by one of the 7 locations where the food's made fresh every day. Chevy's Fresh Mix. 2 balls, 1 strike on the Cardinal catcher. Now it's 3-1. Back to the criteria. I think at least with ERA with modern day pitchers, you have to take a look at that.
Sure.
There's no doubt. I think that's the one that probably stands out maybe more so than any of the other categories. Marrero walks. My, oh my.
Boy, Dusty is just a great manager, that he's got a temper and a short fuse, and these Giants, the way they're playing, probably are going to see it.
Brings in Garrett Stephenson, who helped himself his last time up, which was in this inning. Fouled away. Well, Garrett gets all kinds of run support. National League leader Stephenson with 9 and Keel with 8.
It's funny how that goes.
Just seems like it starts at the beginning of the season for one particular individual. No matter when he starts, by the end of the year, it's the same story.
Sure. And there's always one guy that gets punished. Andy Bennis has been the Cardinals guy this year with getting the least run support.
Stephenson, the 12th man to bat in this inning. some kind of start here in San Francisco in game 2 of this 3-game set. And that gets away. JD to the plate. 10-0 St. Louis, and that ball went right by his head. Back to Gardner.
But I mean, that's another pass ball. I mean,
Escalé is really
what is he seeing? Look at this. I mean, he's not catching a knuckleball pitcher.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Popped up into shallow center. Marvin Bernard puts it away. Vina was awaiting on deck, and he has done the damage in this inning. He got the ball rolling with a couple men aboard. He plugged the gap in right center, and it took him 13.8 seconds to do that. Inside the ballpark, home run, 10-0 St. Louis. The opportunity for your family to be St. Louis, or rather from St. Louis and San Francisco, enjoying this one. 8 runs plated in that second inning. 9 hits in the game for the Cardinals, and it's 10-0 with Garrett Stephenson here in the bottom of the second. Stephenson had a 1-2-3 first, and when you're up by 10 runs, you have to think it's a 1-run game if you're Stephenson and just bear down.
Well, you really do, and I didn't count. I was still trying to figure out all the housekeeping of Ortiz. But, you know, in a situation like this, it's not unusual to ask an umpire, can I have a few extra tosses? It's such a long inning, and most of the time they will grant it.
On a 2-0 pitch into shallow right. Vina, JD Drew. And JD has got to take charge on that, get Vina out of the way and make the play. That's the first out here in the second.
And that's exactly what Vina's telling him. He's saying, hey, you've got to tell me, because until I hear you, I'm going to continue to go after the ball. So you've got to be more emphatic and let me know that you're in the vicinity, and that way, because we're both looking up and you don't want to have a collision.
That was out number 1 here in the second. That brings in J.T. Snow. Vina has had a heck of a series so far.
And Vina can never take it for granted, because half the time J.D. doesn't go after the ball.
That ball is slicing and fair. Down the left field line. J.T. Snow on his way into second. Langford gets the ball in, and it's a 1-out double for J.T. Snow in the first hit for San Francisco in tonight's game.
J.T. kind of backed out of making that, making a little acknowledgement to his father, because he said he's probably too busy sitting on the couch eating popcorn, you know, dreaming about when he's going to get his Super Bowl ring. He says, Dad, this is baseball time. You know, quit thinking about that other inferior sport. This is baseball, the real sport. Come on, Jack, get with the program.
I'll leave you to tell him that.
Well, that's what J.D. said he was going to tell him, but he declined to do it. So, so Jack.
You're
probably
just the messenger.
Oh, Jack. No, I'm sure Jack didn't hear it.
Oh, okay. Here's Armando Rios, average at 262. No homers, 5 RBIs. Good breaking ball there by Stephenson. He's got that 12-6, and if that is on, he's got one of the better breaking balls in the game.
Well, you know what? You really look at some of the funky swings that guys have at it. That tells you how good it is.
0-2 pitch. Slap foul and into the seats here at Pacific Bell Park in San Francisco. Armando Rios. Big crowd on hand. Sellout last night. They have over 29,000 season ticket holders here at Pac Bell Park. Rios is the 1998 Organizational Player of the Year. Played 2 seasons at LSU. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball. And he got a piece of it. In '99, Rios spent the majority of the year with the Giants, but missed 61 games on the disabled list. And he's the guy that has to take over in many late inning situations for Ellis Burks, who's playing on 2 bad knees. Snow at second. Fought off into left field. Base hit. Langford with one hop will get it in. Hits Paquette. Rios a big turn, and that'll be first and third, and only one out for Rich Aurelia. Well, coming up next is the all-new National Sports Report, the nightly show that gives you a complete wrap-up of all the day's sports news. Immediately after the game, it'll be Royals and Tigers highlights, Knicks and Heat, the NBA playoffs, and a fantastic game number 6 at the Igloo, the Flyers and Pens in NHL playoffs. Coming up after the game, the National Sports Report. Base hit for Rios, second in the game for San Francisco. That brings in Rich Aurelia, who's hitting .222.
Time to stop it right now. Get the double play.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. Aurelia is playing in his 5th season in the Giants organization, coming off an outstanding offensive year when he set a San Francisco record with 22 home runs and 78 RBIs. But struggling both offensively and defensively this season. A chance here to get San Francisco on the board. He's in the hole 0-2. Estalella, who has had a tough night, is on deck. First and third, and only one out for Aurelia. 0-2 pitch. And it's 1-2. Aurelia, 28-year-old from Brooklyn, New York. Acquired in 1994 from Texas for John Burkett. One ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball high. And it's 2-2.
Garrett should be getting the adrenaline going after the long inning. Sometimes, you know, you appreciate all those runs, but you'd rather get out there and pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball left side. Can they turn 2? Vina, the quick turn. Oh my goodness, what a turn by Vina. The only guy I've seen get the ball better out of his glove is Ozzie Smith, and this guy is something special. Second baseman Fernando Vina. Watch this turn. Lickety split, and he gets out of the inning.
Aurelia really not hit hard enough, and it took a little tricky hop. Paquette stays with it, but unbelievable. When we've talked about Vina, and look, it wasn't even close at first base. Then earlier he hits the inside park home run. You knew it was either going to be a triple or an inside the parker, so you saw how far down the line was Jose Oquendo, the third base coach. He has to come way down the line towards home plate because it's either going to be a triple or it's going to be a home run. He wants to be as far away from the runner as he comes around the bag, so he has the time to make that decision to either stop him or tell him to come on through.
Jose Oquendo said that Vina is the best he's ever seen, and he now has another base hit. He's 3 for 3. Best he's ever seen at turning the double play. 3 for 3 already for Fernando Vina back home in the state of California. Family and friends on hand. He's got a big contingent here in San Francisco. It's 10-0 Cardinals as we begin play here in the third. Money well spent by Walt Jocketty signing that 3-year contract to Vina. Man, oh man, is this guy... He has just been everything that the Cardinals have expected. A great leadoff man, great in the clubhouse, good in the community already.
Trust me, he just gets you energized to play the game. I mean, he is a professional both on and off the field. Knows how to play, you know, defense, offense.
Here is Renteria. 1 ball and 1 strike. We need to go back to that turn at second. I mean, my goodness, there's not 5 guys in the league that can do this.
Watch this. Got a runner bearing down on him, a quick runner, and he's a ghost at second. He's elusive, but the ball doesn't stay in his glove. He's Houdini with the hand action.
In Cincinnati, I talked to Walt Jocketty, and I said, Walt, when I watch Vina practice before games, and for fans that come out to the ballpark early, they like to watch McGuire take batting practice. Defensively, watch Vina whether he's playing catch, whether he's working on his pivots, whatever the case may be. And there we see the strikeout by Gardner on Renteria. He gets the ball out of his glove so fast. I said, it reminds me exactly of Ozzie Smith, how he used to do it. He said, absolutely. He said, the only guy that he's seen that can do what Vina does with the glove is Ozzie Smith, as far as getting the ball and transferring it into a throwing position and getting it out of his hand. It's amazing.
I've seen some college coaches, instead of using a glove, they use a flat board.
Almost like a paddle.
A paddle. And you put it on your hand, and it's a paddle, and to teach you that softness in that exchange, where the ball, you know, it's hitting the board, but you're catching it with a board and popping it into your glove or into your hand to throw it all in one motion. And he's perfected that.
Here's Langford. 1 ball and 1 strike with McGuire on deck.
It's not a catch, it's an exchange.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And when you watch him, it almost looks like he doesn't catch the ball. It's never in his glove. You don't see it go into the pocket of the glove. That last turn is as good as you'll see. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Danny, the thing about it too is it really wasn't a double play ball.
Not at all.
Because a double play ball, a true double play ball, is hit hard, and that was not. And then Paquette really stayed with it because it took a tricky little hop right at the end, came up on him a little bit, but good concentration. He received it and fired a strike.
We knew that Vina was going to be a huge upgrade from a year ago, but I don't think anybody had any idea that he was going to be as good as he's been so far.
Well, you also put a good player, a heads-up player with a good ball club, and it brings out the best in him also.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Langford got a piece there and fouled it away. Langford hitting .206. Tony La Russa up by 10 runs in this game. If it stays this way, has a chance to rest some of the regulars with a day game tomorrow. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes on Ray.
First of all, keep on scoring.
Don't get ahead of yourself, right?
Keep on scoring, keep on putting zeros on the board, and then let that develop later on.
Full count on Langford. Off and running is Vina, and Langford walks. Brings in McGuire with first and second. I tell you what, up 10-0. I don't know about Vina running, and I'm sure that was Vina on his own. But Dusty Baker saw that, which I'm sure he did. He probably does not like to see that.
Nobody likes it rubbed in, but I don't think players play the same way or the same ground rules. And I'll be the first to tell you, who knows what they are because of the prolific scoring.
Here's McGuire. Takes a strike. Next home run, he is all alone at 9th place on the all-time home run list and passing Jimmy Fox.
I'd have to say right now with the score 10-0, there's a lot of Giants fans that are rooting for that.
Yes, they are. Dusty Baker was quoted in the paper this morning saying he'd like to see McGuire hit one as we see the hot zone to that glove in left field. Only, though, if the Giants were up 10-0 or 10-1. Instead, it's the Cardinals up 10-0. Edmonds awaits on deck. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Gardner steps on. Gardner and Estalella did not hook up, and now they're going to talk it over. Giants are down 10-0. McGuire at the plate with 2 men aboard and only 1 out here in the 3rd. Big Mac has singled and walked already tonight. Against Mark Gardner, McGuire with some good numbers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Way outside. 2-1. Two balls and a strike on McGuire. Here it comes. Now Gardner is on the verge of walking his second consecutive man and then walking the bases loaded for Edmonds. Now it gets interesting with 3 balls and a strike to McGuire. The pitch. And he walked him. Bases loaded for Edmonds.
The Cardinals missed a few scoring opportunities the last few days, but they aren't missing many today.
Edmonds will step in. His career with the bases loaded. Average over 300 at 305 and has 1 grand slam. Eric Davis had that big grand slam on Sunday. A number of grand slams for the Cardinals this season to start 2000. Andy Bennis will go against Kirk Reeder tomorrow in the finale of this 3-game set here in San Francisco. 1 ball, no strikes. Here it comes.
You know what happens to Andy every time? Cardinal batters are so worn out from scoring runs for Garrett Stephenson that when Andy comes around, they're too tired.
Here comes Mr. Righetti to talk it over with Gardner, who's struggling. Can't find the plate right now. It's 2-0 to Edmonds. 10-0 St. Louis here in the 3rd at Pacific Bell Park in San Francisco. Dan McLaughlin, Al Hrabowski here on Fox Sports Net. Hope you're enjoying it back home in St. Louis. A late night back home.
This is one that's worth it.
Yeah. Cardinals were going to see Joe Nathan, but instead they'll see Reeder tomorrow. What's on Tap is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, brewed to deliver the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste of the king of beers. This Bud's for you. Los Angeles, 3 games on WB11 starting on Friday, then Tuesday and Wednesday at Philadelphia on Fox Sports Net. Next to Edmonds. Fouled away. Edmonds with 11 home runs on the season. And now 27 RBIs. He has 1 tonight. Two-one pitch. Now 2-2. That's the 47th pitch thrown by Gardner already tonight.
And a total of 95 between Ortiz and Gardner. And here we are, top of the 3rd inning with 1 out. 1 out. 10 hits. 4 walks already allowed.
Stays 2-2. Vina stands at 3rd. The bases are loaded. Langford at 2nd. And at 1st, the disinterested Mark McGuire. Will be on the move here if Edmonds can hit it, and he didn't. Strikes out with the bases loaded. Edmonds strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. He may be one of the guys that you give a rest later this evening if the score continues to be the way that it is. Brings in Paquette. Now 2 outs and bases loaded. With J.D. Drew on deck. Paquette is 0 for 2. A pop out and a fly out. And that's popped up. Make it 0 for 3. Bases were loaded with less than 2 outs, and the Cardinals can't drive any runs in. They have 10 hits on the night. They lead it 10-0. 3rd here at Pacific Bell Park in San Francisco. 10-0 St. Louis. Hey kids, on Saturday, May 13th, when the Cardinals play the LA Dodgers, it's McDonald's Shell Collector's Coin Night. All fans 15 ages and under with a paid admission receive a collector's coin honoring the great career of Willie McGee. Compliments of Shell and McDonald's. Estalella, Ortiz, or rather not Ortiz, the pitcher's spot. Then Bernard. By the way, Willie McGee was in attendance here tonight, checking out batting practice. A shot, and Paquette is in. Out number 1.
That way, Pokey, struggling at the plate right now in this game, but his teammates aren't, and you can still contribute defensively. And that's the one thing. It must have been a sinking line drive the way he reacted. And that's one thing Tony said is, sure, we're going to miss the lively bat of Fernando Tatis, and we hope Fernando is getting better and better, and want him back as soon as he possibly can. But Pokey's going to play good defense for us, and you know, whether Polanco over there or something, they'll do the job until we can get one of our biggest contributors, Fernando Tatis, back.
Here is Mark Gardner, 1 for 3 on the season. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Marrero hung on. Second out in the inning. Well, baseball Thursday, 2 of the game's top players square off. Mike Piazza leads the Mets against Jason Kendall and the Pirates. Piazza, 7-time All-Star, is one of the most feared hitters in all the game. Kendall, a 2-time All-Star, is perhaps the best all-around catcher in the game, combining hitting, defense, and speed. The Mets and Pirates, 6 o'clock, baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net. 2 outs now, and here is the leadoff man, Marvin Bernard. He's 0 for 1 on the night. Fly to left his first time up. And Stephenson is working very quickly here in the bottom half of the 3rd.
Also shows a positive sign to his teammates and to the opposition that get the ball, throw it, I'm in control. Bernard hits with a real open stance, and it looks like they try to pitch him away.
2 balls and a strike. Good pitch there by Stephenson. 2-2.
He's really had good command of his fastball outside to the left-handed batters.
Ground ball right side. McGuire, nice pick with the backhand. The flip to Stephenson in a 1-2-3 inning for Garrett Stephenson to end the 3rd. J.D. Drew will lead things off when we come back. Welcome back to Pacific Ballpark in San Francisco on Fox Sports Net. Top of the 4th. J.D. Drew to lead it off, followed by Eli Marrero, then Garrett Stephenson. J.D. Drew has been very solid tonight. Has a base hit and a double. A solid start to this game here tonight. Pop back and foul.
Red Chaney's just informed me that he was the hitting coach for today.
I'd like to take part in credit too.
Well, Jocketty said, why does Garrett get all the runs? And you and I aren't complaining.
No, we're not. 0-2 now on J.D. Drew. Oh-2 pitch. Weak ground ball right side. A flip by Snow. J.D. is safe. He beat it. Well, we know he can fly. He's got that great speed up the first base line and beat it out.
Sometimes you really see J.D. turn it on, and Mark Garner a little casual in getting to the bag, and there's the foot race. Right here. It's not Snow. It's the pitcher. If you know someone has good speed, you take a more direct approach. You see, he went down there like it was somebody that couldn't run, and he has that banana trying to time it. You almost have to race for it if somebody has good speed.
Here's Eli Marrero. Popped up. Moves now into fair territory, and Billy Miller had to put it away there for the first out. This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Tumi and antenna balls can't be wrong. And by your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers. 1 out now in the 4th, and in steps Garrett Stephenson. Garrett is 0 for his first 13 in 2000. J.D. Drew is at first.
I just want to know why Red isn't helping out Garrett with his hitting tonight, or Paquette.
Bunt laid down, and a beauty by Stephenson. On to first, that's the second out. And Stephenson does a good job in moving up the runner. J.D. Drew is now in scoring position at second base. And that brings in the hit machine as of late, Fernando Vina.
There is good technique in his second successful sack of the evening. First one was back in the 8-run second inning.
What a start by Vina in that 8-run second inning. Vina had an inside the park home run in their fourth strike. The last cycle happened back in '96. John Mabry against the Rockies.
And a double and a triple.
Yeah.
After
pair of base hits and that home run.
Yeah. Inside the park home run.
0-1 pitch.
Those count too.
Yes, they do.
And Correa has a single and a home run. JD's got 3 hits, a single and a double. And this new ballpark here lends itself to a lot of extra base hits.
Next to Vina. Got him. And Vina strikes out. First time tonight that he has been retired. It happened here in the fourth. He's the third and final out. It's still 10-0 St. Louis. We're at Pacific Ballpark in San Francisco. Cardinals lead this one. They're in control, and so is Garrett Stephenson. It's 10-0 St. Louis in front of a big crowd here at Pac Ballpark.
Well, Danny, I had to guess, and I guessed correct.
Oh, yeah? Last night, we were giving you hint after hint. We had to spell it out for you.
That was last.
Here is Bill Miller, the St. Louisan from DeSmet High School in Southwest Missouri State. Two balls and 2 strikes. And it stays 2-2. Have a note here to say hello to Jackson T. Lingle. Watching the game back home in North St. Louis. Has family and friends here in California. They want to say hello to Jackson T. Lingle. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Right back up the middle and a base hit for the St. Louisan, Billy Miller. Well, again, let's take a look at our Affleck trivia question. Who was on deck when Bobby Thompson hit the shot heard around the world?
First run with a long fly to center. Brooklyn leads it 4-2. 1 out, last of the 9th. Backus throws. There's a left side. And so it be, I believe. The Giants win the pennant. 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 And they're going crazy. They're going crazy.
Willie Mays on deck.
Somehow I didn't see him. That massive humanity at home plate.
What a surprise. Popped into left. Playing tricks with Langford out there, but he puts it away. And Bonds has been silenced in this series. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He was 0 for 2 last night. First out here in the 4th. brings in Jeff Kent. That has to be one of the most famous baseball calls ever.
You know who was on the mound? Who served it up?
No, sir.
How about if I gave you a hint that it's Bobby Ballantyne's father-in-law?
One and one now.
Ralph Branca.
Speaking of Bobby Valentine, the Mets today said goodbye to Ricky Anderson.
Yes, interesting, huh?
Swallowed about $2 million.
Now, there's a sure first ballot Hall of Famer, but the question is, will somebody pick him up? You have to think somebody will.
He would think so.
Especially if you don't have to, just pay him a prorated sum of a minimum salary.
Here's Jeff Kent. Willie Mays, by the way, regarded by many as the best player ever. Just outside here at Pac Bell Park, they have 24 Willie Mays Plaza, the official address to this ballpark. That's inside, and it's now a full count.
Also have a nice statue of Willie.
He was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1979. 20 times he was an All-Star. Peter McGowan has done a good job at remembering the past of the Giants. Guys like Mays and Willie McCovey. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and see you later. That cuts the lead now to 10-2. 2-run shot for Jeff Kent. No doubt about that one. Kent was 0 for 3 last night, has himself a home run here tonight. He's 1 for 2, his 9th home run of the season. RBIs number 31 and 32. 10-2 still St. Louis.
Jeff Kent has become quite a slugger. Second baseman. He's had 3 consecutive 100-plus RBI seasons. That ball up, out over the plate, and he gave it a rocket into the left field stands. Had 29, 31, and 23 home run seasons the past 3 years. And as I mentioned, 3 years of 100 or more RBIs.
That brings in J.T. Snow. He is doubled tonight in his lone at bat. 1 for 4 last night. And there's 1 ball and 1 strike. That's in there, and it's 1-2. JT has been a major part of the Giants' success since joining the club back in 1997. Remember, in 97, Al, he was beaten in the face by Randy Johnson. There's a base hit opposite field for JT Snow. He's 2 for 2. JT now exclusively hitting from the left side after being a switch hitter in his career prior to last year.
Garrett, in his previous starts, had not the last one, his first one of the year and his last one of the year, he shut out the opposition. But in between, he'd be sailing along and then have an inning where he just kind of self-destructs, regroups, but throwing a lot of fastballs before he was hitting his spots. Now they're kind of up out over the middle.
That was pitch number 58 for Stephenson. 36 have been strikes. Even with the bag at third, it's Paquette. 1 ball, no strikes. Here he comes. Swing and a miss by Armando Rios, who has a base hit tonight. They have a big lead like this, Al. You don't want to walk anybody, and that's obvious.
Got to hit your way on.
1-1 pitch. Breaking ball. And just missed outside, and it's 2-1. Alan Embry warming up for the Giants in their bullpen, and now it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Armando Rios. Cardinals making their only visit to San Francisco this season. The Giants will come to St. Louis for a couple of series. Tomorrow, Andy Bennis will throw for the Cardinals in an afternoon game here at Pac Bell Park. Kirk Reeder will throw for San Francisco. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Armando Rios. Runner is off. And it doesn't matter. He walked him. Not what you want to do up 10-2. That brings in Rich Aurelia, who grounded into the double play. That was an amazing turn by Vina back in the second. All started with a base hit by Bill Miller, the St. Louisan. And Bonds flying to left, and the home run by Kent. J.T. Snow got a base hit. Now a walk to Rios, and that brings in Rich Aurelia. First and second, and 1 out. Aurelia coming off an outstanding offensive season a year ago. This year he's struggling. First pitch to him is in the dirt. There you see the difference from the Cardinals catching to that of San Francisco tonight. A good block by Eli Marrero behind the plate.
I told you earlier, guaranteed you that those balls would not get by our backstops. So you mentioned good offensive. 22 home runs, 80 RBIs. That's the 3rd best by a National League shortstop in the last 50 years. Only 2 betters, a guy named Ernie Banks and Barry Larkin.
Now the Giants had 5 guys with 80 or more RBIs a year ago. Aurelia was one of them, along with Kent, Burks, and Snow and Bonds. Now Dave Duncan to talk it over with Garrett Stephenson.
Well, just come out here and just slow him down, and then just sit there and kind of say, hey, you want this win? You know, we need it. But, you know, if you don't go out there and take command, take charge right now, you have to be the only one that can do it. You've got the ball. Show everyone that you're going to stop it right now. Not only show us, but show the Giants.
Two balls, no strikes on the Giants shortstop, Rich Aurelia.
You know, Garrett is 4-0 on the year, but should be 6-0 with all the run support he has received.
Now it's 3-0. On deck, Estelea, and he had 2 home runs last night. He does not want to walk. Aurelia here to get to Estelea with the bases loaded. Only 1 out. First and second. And he walked him on 4 straight. Bases are now loaded.
Well, you had a beat ball club that now they're saying if you don't want it, we'll take it.
Ned may get some action now in the Cardinal bullpen.
Exactly. And we're only in the 4th inning. And they're trying to get attention of Marrero, I'm sure, to see if he wants to talk to him.
Estelea skies it a mile high. Fouls it into the seats after 2 consecutive men had walked here in the 4th. It's 10-2, and he swings at the first pitch.
Well, I had a discussion with Dave Duncan today, and basically it was, don't ever assume guys know how to play the game.
That's never been more true with it.
Well,
I
was giving some of our pitchers credit for.
Shot in the left, in front of Langford. 1 run scores, and it'll stay bases loaded. It's now 10-3. Estelea with the RBI number 15. Still, though, the Cardinals are up by 7 runs, but Stephenson is having problems here in the 4th.
This guy last night burned you with making mistakes, particularly the first one off of Henkin. Debatable where the other one was. They say it was down. I say it was too high. But And Stephenson, who played with Estrella, says, I know how to get him out. There's a line drive to third the first time, now a base hit to left.
And now Russ Davis will hit for the Giants. Davis hitting .282 with a homer and 3 RBIs.
You make a mistake to this guy and he can lose it. Darren Holmes, if you're a relief pitcher, you say, I'll come in and take this win.
No doubt. Davis has hit 20 home runs in each of his last 3 seasons. First pitch to him. Breaking ball in there. 1 out and bases loaded here in the 4th, and Stephenson has pitched himself into a jam. On deck, it's the leadoff man, Marvin Bernard. 0-1 pitch. Make it 0-2.
That's how you pitch. Get ahead with that breaking ball, then thread the needle outside. Fastball, be aggressive.
Russ Davis and J.T. Snow were roommates while with the Yankees in the minor leagues, and now he's in the whole 0-2 here. Now they're teammates with the Giants. Giants trying to crawl back in this one.
What a great play.
Guerrero.
There's
Excellent
what we're
play.
talking about. Forget about the glove. Use your body. And that was just a tough, tough ball to block. But look at him go up there and do it. See how the glove is not what he uses. He uses his chest protector. He uses his upper body to try and smother that ball. And even though it got a little bit away from him, it's not far enough for them to advance.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out and bases loaded. Now 2-2. Crowd here at Pac Bell has come alive a little bit. Giants at 1 point were down 10-0. Davis with the bases loaded is 14 for 40. One swing of the bat, they're right back in. Now Stephenson steps off. Two balls and 2 strikes.
Your pitcher, you say, I'm just 1 pitch and getting 2 outs. And this double play combination we have, that's where you think.
Struck him out right there on the inside corner. 2nd out. Davis goes down looking. Good pitch there by Stephenson.
Well, he really needed this, and of course they've been working away, so you come inside, and that's the pitch. People don't, they all want to push away from him. They don't believe it, but it's a strike.
Al, it always seems like, and you mentioned it before, that Stephenson, one time or another in his starts, will have a hiccup. Maybe this is just the inning, and then he'll settle down after this. Here's Marvin Bernard.
And get into a pattern of trying to throw that first pitch breaking ball, get ahead breaking ball, especially when you leave it up.
1 ball and 1 strike. Bernard signed a huge contract, 3 years, $11 million, although he was 2 years away from free agency. 1-1. Hit to the left side. Paquette to his left, over to McGuire, and Stephenson had the bases loaded and only 1 out and got out of it. The Giants play 3. It's 10-3 St. Louis after 4. Budweiser, Bud Light.
Oh, I think he's going to get one.
It's kind of interesting. I think we may have the best view in the house as Alan Embry comes in to pitch for the San Francisco Giants. We saw him last night. He'll deal with Renteria, Langford, and McGuire, but some of the writers are a level below us, and they're not really happy about that.
Yeah, they say they're actually too low, and then they aren't going to open up the windows for them until the day game, so they don't hear the real crowd noise. But the reason they don't want to open up the windows is they say the fans can reach in and take their computers.
That wouldn't happen here in San Francisco, would it?
Oh, no.
No way.
We don't worry about ours.
I didn't know that you knew how to run a computer.
I'm not turning on.
That's even shocking in itself. Here's Renteria. He is homered tonight, has himself a base hit. Now 6 homers on the season for the Cardinals shortstop.
You know, you didn't see me get that virus.
No, you didn't. The I love you virus. Renteria has gone deep. Back into second. And there it was, a line shot into left, clearing the wall in left field as Bonds gave chase. Renteria with his 6th home run. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Struck him out. Good pitch by Alan Embry. On the inside corner. Embry, Al, can be very tough. A 6-year veteran that has been with Cleveland, Atlanta, Arizona, now with the Giants. He signed a big contract in the offseason, and Dusty Baker was saying before the game he feels that Embry is just pressing a bit to kind of prove that he was worth that contract.
Last year he marked the 3rd straight year of having at least 65 appearances. He has posted 4 consecutive scoreless outings, including last night when he struck out Langford, the only man he faced.
Ray tonight is 1 for 2. Had a base hit off Ortiz and nearly took his head off right back up the middle. On deck, it's McGuire. Drive into center field. Bernard going back at the track, looking up, leaping, and that ball is gone. Home run for Ray Langford to dead center. Hit it 400 plus feet, and it's now 11-3 St. Louis. A couple of hits on the night for Langford, and that is home run number 7.
Same pitcher last night that struck him out with 2 outs and a couple men on. And so, you know, all the people that second guess, but there's a pitch right there that Ray did not normally miss. Earlier in the year he was missing that pitch. Today he gets it, his 7th home run, and the Cardinals' 3rd home run of the evening.
Speaking of home runs, here's McGuire. Takes a pitch inside. Edmonds is on deck. 11-3 now St. Louis. Ray Langford has gone deep. Here in the 5th. And it's 2-0 on McGuire. Back to Langford's home run. High towering drive into dead center. And that is his 7th home run.
Right away, Ray.
2 balls, no strikes on McGuire. Ooh, and a good cut there. 2-1. McGuire tonight is 1 for 1. 2 balls and a strike, and here it comes. 3-1 with Edmonds on deck. They have the shift on against McGuire, and some teams are actually starting to do that against Barry Bonds, except on the opposite side. 3 balls and a strike. And he walked it. So Embry, kind of an auspicious start here. He had the strikeout of Renteria to start the inning, and Langford went deep, and now McGuire walks, and that brings in Edmonds.
3rd walk for McGuire after he singled the first time up. Just like when you're ahead big, you don't want to walk people. Well, when you're behind big, you don't want to walk people either to continue the merry-go-round.
And Embry has really struggled this season now. It's important for him to string together a couple of solid innings here. Here's Edmonds. Edmonds tonight has struck out a couple of times, has an RBI, his 27th of the season. Also has a base hit. That was back in the 2nd. And it's 0-1. Base hit to the right side for Jim Edmonds. 2nd base hit on the night for Edmonds. McGuire up to 2nd. And it's 1st and 2nd, and only 1 out. That'll bring in Paquette.
He struck out a pair of times, and he's got a pair of base hits. Set up away. breaking ball never got there. And he's back to closer to hitting 400. Well, he's over 400 and closer to 500 while he's hitting on the road.
He has been something else. Not much of an adjustment period for Edmonds coming from the American League to the National League. That brings in Paquette with one out, first and second. Paquette is the one guy that in this lineup tonight has kind of struggled. Flied out a couple of times and popped out.
Okay, now my batting practice is going to help. He's facing a left-hander.
Yeah. How did he look in BP?
Oh, he crushed some balls off of Easler and then myself.
Oh, 1 pitch. Hit down the right field line. One bouncing into the seats. Foul ball, and it's 0-2. National League batting average leaders with that base hit. Edmonds back over 400. He's at 402. Leading the league is Vladimir Guerrero. He does not get much press in Montreal. It's certainly one of the best outfielders in the game. Next to Paquette, lifted into center. Bernard going back at the track, in front of the track. Tagging up, it's McGuire from second to third. So it's first and third, and now 2 outs. Paquette 0 for 4 on the night. That brings in J.D. Drew on the opposite side of the spectrum. J.D. has had a nice night, couple of base hits and a double. He's 3 for 3.
First 3 times were really pop-ups. That time he hit it high, but he hit it far and hit it hard.
Here's J.D. Chance here at another RBI for himself. Chance to add to this Cardinal lead. It's 11-3.
Let's try and get those 3 runs back.
That catches the outside corner. Eli Marrero's on deck.
JD hit a 2-run homer last night. Second home run in the past 3 games. He's got 3 hits in the night tonight.
No balls and a strike. Now 0-2 on J.D. Drew. Alan Embry a year ago made a career high 68 appearances as we see nightfall upon us in the Bay here in San Francisco. Don't get that view at many ballparks around the country, do you? 3 pitches, and J.D. never took his bat off the shoulder, and he strikes out. He's had a good night, though. He's 3 for 4. First time he's been retired. Stephenson back to the mound. 11-3 St. Louis. Bottom of the 5th, and the Cardinals in control. 11-3. Well, before they were world champions, they were Golden Gloves. Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, Sugar Ray Leonard, Oscar De La Hoya. The Golden Gloves Tournament of Champions begins here Sunday at 8 on Fox Sports Net. Here's Bill Miller, followed by Bonds and then Kent. Here in the 5th. Cardinals picked up another run in the top half of the 5th. Ray Lankford with a solo home run to dead center field here at Pac Bell Park. And the St. Louisan strikes out on the inside corner. A good pitch by Stephenson.
Your starting pitcher, you know you have to qualify for a victory by going through 5 frames. So this is the frame you really work even harder for. And then anything over it, you're coasting.
Here's Barry Bonds. Bonds has been silenced in this series. Bonzo is off to one of his best starts in 2000. A shot right at short. Edgar Renteria is there for the second out here in the 5th. And like we said, Al, it looks like Stephenson has 1 inning per game in which he runs into trouble, but then settles down once he gets through it.
Here's another reason why you don't walk people. Even when they hit it hard, they might hit it right at somebody. You got one man in front of you, 8 behind you, or 7 behind you that are trying to help you out. When you walk somebody, they can't do a thing.
Brings in Jeff Kent. He has a home run tonight. That was back in the 4th. A 2-run homer to get San Francisco on the board. 1 ball, no strikes. They set up outside, hits his spot, and it's 1-1. Jeff Kent back in the 4th, went deep off Garrett Stephenson. High towering drive into left field, and that was home run number 8 for Kent.
Fastball that missed location. You're going to pitch in, you got to go all the way in. If you're going to pitch away, you've got to keep it out of the middle of the plate.
2 balls and a strike. Down the left field line, that ball is fair and past Paul Kent. Langford over to gather it in, and now it's tangled up over there by a fan, and he's on a cell phone, so he's calling home to say, yeah, I grabbed that ball from Jeff Kent. Hey, look, I got that ball.
There it is, and yeah, these low fences, you can't blame a fan for reaching over. But Ray Langford, and you see just inside the third base bag, there's a changeup that was up a little bit. Ray Langford immediately put his hands up, signifying that it was a fan interference and the ground rule double.
Kent's a productive night. He's at second with 2 outs, and here's J.T. Snow. Snow is 2 for 2. He has a double.
I saw recently a replay of a ballpark that had a real low fence, and these kids, got a chance for a souvenir. They didn't go out on the field. They stayed in the stands, reached over, picked it up, and then were ejected. Now why?
Just being fans, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect to have a 3-foot railing and have people have an opportunity to field a ball and say they're not going to do it.
Three and 1 the count. I'm Dan. Al's alongside. We're at Pac Bell Park. That was put up on your screen by the graphics guru. And there's a reason why there's tension between yourself and the guru, Al.
Really? I didn't know it.
You know where he's from? Chicago.
Oh, well. No wonder we abuse him.
Well deserved, I might add. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball, there's Vina. Mr. Everything in this series. And Stephenson gets out of the inning. We are through 5, and it's 11-3 St. Louis. McCovey Cove, one of the great aspects of this ballpark. Pac Bell Park in San Francisco. I know you were very worried, Al, once you saw the highlight of that first splash hit off the bat of Barry Bonds, that somebody could get hurt out there. You were concerned for the folks here in San Francisco and the Bay, just outside the ballpark.
Yeah, I ordered some torpedoes.
It is wonderful.
But I mean, that replay where you see
you think somebody could get hurt?
Yeah, I mean, looked like one went right up on top of the other one, trying to go after a baseball. That's soggy.
But it was the first splash hit. And the man that gathered that in, as we see Eli Marrero step in here in the 6th, was a former groundskeeper at Candlestick Park. Two balls, no strikes on Eli Marrero. Marrero, then Garrett Stephenson in the top of the order, and Fernando Vina, who's had a big night, including an inside the park home run. Off back and foul.
A nice note from Rick Kroll from Belleville. He's out here with his brother who lives in San Jose, but this was his critic. The Kroll critic said the best variety of food in any ballpark in the country. Wow. But many extra restrooms needed. That's his thoughts of Pacific Ballpark.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Marrero. They have 24 different restaurants here at Pac Ballpark. All kinds of different varieties of food. You can peek through the fence in right field to check out a game. A lot of different things, a lot of different amenities. Bernard broke back once again, but steps in and makes the play, and Eli Marrero is retired. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Isn't that the truth?
That we're scratched out again, or?
Think this is work? You're crazy.
Hey, it's
Garrett
fun
Stephenson.
when you win.
It really is. Chopper to short. Stephenson retired. 2 up and 2 down. You think it's work in the truck? You're crazy there too. You know these guys enjoy every single minute of being at a major league park and enjoying Cardinal baseball.
You know what I just can't believe is why it takes them so long for preparation. Why they have to get here at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I couldn't agree with you more, Al.
And sometimes wearing the same clothes they had the night before.
That's where the play part comes in. Here's Vina. A drive into right, but Armando Rios is there and puts it away. Vina hit it right on the button, but right at the right fielder. Oh, he is fun to watch. Vina's had a big night. A 1-2-3 inning for Embry. Well, don't forget about the senior PGA Tour coming back to St. Louis, the Boone Valley Classic, May 22nd through the 28th. For tickets, call 314-534-1111. Tom Watson, Lee Trevino, they'll all be there. And let's take a look at our Pizza Hut NL Central standings. Cardinals atop the NL Central, 19 and 13, and these are updated, by the way. Cincinnati won tonight. They're 2.5 back. Pirates 4.5. Astros 6. Cubs and Brewers 7.5 back.
Oh, I guess it means Cubs lost again. What else is new?
That's shocking, isn't it? They lost 4-3, and the Guru is upset. A huge, huge Cubs fan. (2-0) on Armando Rios.
I just found out the graphics guru isn't a major league fan. He's a 4A fan.
My goodness. We'll be at Chicago to see the White Sox later this year. That catches the outside corner, 2-1.
Talking with a lot of the umpires that have come over from the American League, and they are just realizing that it is a much better game in the National League, and I think everybody finds that out.
Off the end of the bat. Renteria across the diamond, 1 up and 1 down. Rios is retired. Coming up next, it's the all-new National Sports Report, the nightly show that gives you a complete wrap-up of all the day's sports news. It's immediately coming up after the game. The Royals and Tigers in the American League, Knicks and Heat, NBA playoffs, Flyers, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Game number 6 highlights coming up on the National Sports Report. You played in both leagues. What are your thoughts on the difference in the 2 leagues?
Well, I really feel that it's much better in the National League because it's real baseball. The fans really have an opportunity to second guess. There's more decision making. It's a faster pace. It's quicker pace. There's enough offense in this league.
Just ask Houston.
Yeah. Just ask Lima.
21 game winner a year ago, and now really struggling. Base hit, 1-out base hit for Rich Aurelia. First hit on the night for Aurelia. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. Brings in Bobby Estalella. The Giants catcher had a couple of home runs last night. Has an RBI here tonight and a base hit. Back in the 4th. His average is at 340. Take you back to last night. Bobby Estalella in the 2nd inning. This is a 3-run shot off of Pat Henkin. And Henkin wasn't bad last night, but a couple of his mistakes, and one of them was right there. Then in the 8th, that's a solo shot. For the big man, he had 4 RBIs on the night.
Has 1 tonight with a single in the 4th inning.
Talking about the American League, Juan Gonzalez has stopped talks with the Detroit Tigers. $140 million, I guess, wasn't enough. He's averaged 140 RBIs.
And Danny, you know, he's really slumped this year along with his new team, the Detroit Tigers. The ballpark that he's in is a big ballpark that favors the pitcher, not the hitter. And so I guess if you're going to get a lot of money and you want to keep on putting up big numbers, there's some thought to go to a more hitter-friendly park.
Many feel that this free agent class in 2000 will be the top class maybe ever. Arguably the best class ever, free agent class. You got Jim Edmonds, you got Rodriguez, you got Gonzalez, who we just mentioned. Who else? Chipper Jones, Ashby, Manny Ramirez, Hampton, Mike Mussina.
Danny Nagel, who we saw the other day,
yes.
Pretty good. There's a bunch of guys out there, which really, in one sense, maybe help drive down prices.
It could.
Because the more guys you have, there's only so much money that's available. Marvin Miller's fear many years ago was that they would make everyone a free agent after each year.
Runner is off, and that's a ball. Estalella walks. 2nd time he's reached.
The way Marvin envisioned it, and it worked out very well, was that if you only have a few free agents every year, then the price will go up. And I think that's worked. Slocum will start drifting down to the bullpen or mounds and start throwing.
Stephenson now has issued 3 walks on the night.
Well, he's over 100 pitches, so you're trying to get him right through, trying to get him through this inning, and then his pitch count's going to be so high that it'll probably be his last. There, 104.
Here is Ramon Martinez. Martinez at 316. And there's 2 balls and no strikes. 1st and 2nd occupied, and only 1 out here in the 6th. Talk about the money in the game of baseball. Certainly a lot of changes will probably have to take place. And it's now 3-0.
Well, I think it's safe to say that there's enough money for both sides.
No doubt.
Owners and players.
But both sides have to give a little. I don't know if you'll agree, Al, but salary cap has to be instituted in my mind. You got to have revenue sharing amongst the owners. Those are 2 major things that just have to happen. They're pertinent to the game's success.
Well, the problem is that the Players Association's never had to negotiate.
Into right center. Edmonds is there, so is Drew. And J.D. takes charge and makes the play. That's the second out here in the 6th inning. And now it's 1st and 3rd.
You know, Danny, the Players Associations never negotiated. They just would hold out and wait for the owners to cave in. And they always have in the past.
I don't know if that's going to be the case, though, in the next couple of years.
Well, I'd rather think that there is open communication between Paul Beeston and Donald Fear, that they will get together and work through things. But I think first and foremost, as you mentioned, that the owners have to come together with more revenue sharing amongst themselves.
Here is Marvin Bernard. Another thing that has to take place is that we've seen it with Griffey and McGuire, but some of the top guys, the guys making the elite money, have to come down a little bit from the demands. When $140 million isn't enough, that's ridiculous. Has to be a cap. And what that does, you're allowing the players on the other side of the spectrum, the lower end, the minimum, to be higher. You're helping out the cause of the general good of the players.
Well, there's several ways that you can do a lot of things. One, you can expand the rosters, which probably would be a good idea, which eventually you eliminate the DH by expanding the roster. You really significantly raise the minimum salary.
Two balls and a strike from Marvin Bernard.
But I've always said, you know, the owners have given the lion's share. It's always, I think it's around 58% of the revenues to the players. So the Players Association negotiate that as much as they possibly can. And then for the first time, the owners and players work constructively to be on the same page, to take a $2 billion plus industry to a $3 billion plus industry and beyond. And then the players are going to make their money that way.
Local TV revenue, a huge factor for ownership across Major League Baseball. And there we see the walk given out by Stephenson. That is his second walk that he's issued here in the 6th and 4th overall. And that may be it for Garrett Stephenson.
Well, you know, it gets to a point where hopefully the Cardinals hold on and they win this ball game. But, you know, you end up not feeling good about a victory.
This is our call to the bullpen. It's brought to you by Lowe's. Call Lowe's for all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, improving home improvement. Heathcliff Slocum to enter this game earlier than he would like. Bottom of the 6th, 11-3 St. Louis. Al Hrabowski alongside. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Heathcliff Slocum to enter this game for St. Louis.
This is appearing for the 16th time, just under 20 innings pitched, 15 hits. He struck out 12, walked 8. And when you come back to a game where the Redbirds score 11 runs, but can only get 5 2/3 innings out of their starter.
In steps Bill Miller.
Bases are loaded, so Heathcliff has really no margin. There are 2 outs, but you could let these guys get right back into the ball game. We saw last night the Cardinal starter Pat Henkin was slipping a little bit at his landing area, and Slocum did the same thing here. And he's still kind of pawing at it, kicking at it, trying to, whether it's caving in there. Oh, you see where it's
just,
you
see him slip.
Yeah, you go to plant that foot, and with good solid clay, you land solidly. It even kind of sticks rather than slides.
2 balls and a strike on Bill Miller. With 2 outs here in the 6th. Garrett Stephenson got the start tonight. He was not sharp. 2 balls and a strike on Miller. Now 2-2.
Well, that pitch was right there, Billy, right on it. When a hitter drives a ball right back over the catcher's shoulder, when you think he's timed that speed, it's time to change speed.
Miller from Maryland Heights.
Smet High School and also what, Southwest Missouri State.
Played for the Bears. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled away.
One of our favorite announcers, which may remain nameless, one time said, Bill Miller from DeSmet High School, Southwest Missouri State. Isn't it a shame he only lacks 12 hours from getting his pigskin? It wasn't you and it wasn't me.
No. Crowd comes alive. The 2-2 pitch. Got a piece of it.
Right. What Miller does here could raise the emotions of the crowd in one way or the other.
In 99, he battled back from an opening day injury to hit .290. Missed 37 games. Then played 103 of 123. Next pitch. Vina. He's there to McGuire. Slocum gets out of the inning. That's the 3rd and final out. We're through 6. Stephenson in line for the victory. 11-3 St. Louis. St. Louis in this game. We move to the top of the Pacific Ballpark. Cardinals in control. Sunday, May 25th, when the Cardinals play the Dodgers, it's Coca-Cola Mobile Cap Day at Busch Stadium. All fans ages 15 and under with a paid admission receive a specially designed baseball cap featuring Cardinal players Ray Lankford, Fernando Vina, Darryl Kyle, and Pat Henkin. Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Cardinals. Aaron Fultz to enter this game for the San Francisco Giants here in the 7th. And this is Edgar Renteria. Renteria has a home run tonight. Renteria, then Lankford and McGuire. And it's 1-1. Edgar's 2 for 4 on the night. Aaron Fultz has been one of the best relievers late in the game for Dusty Baker. He actually moved past Alan Embry in that department as San Francisco's top lefty reliever.
His first time at the big leagues, so first time that Renteria and the Cardinals are seeing this young man.
Cardinals in control. It's 11-3. Breaking ball fouled away down the right field line and into the seats. Russ Ortiz got the start tonight for San Francisco, and he was roughed up. Breaking ball in there, and Renteria goes down. He's 2 for 5. First out here in the 7th. He has been called out now 3 times in a row as Renteria.
Yeah, I mean, off of Ortiz, he singled and scored, then a home run and scored. And since that time, he's 3 strikeouts looking. Not exactly the killer instinct to say, I'm going to have a career night.
Brings in Lankford. He is homered tonight. Takes a strike. Lankford has been on base 3 times. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball and a good one in there for a strike. It's 0-2. Lankford's average at .214. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
They wanted that ball up, but not up there.
No.
Wanted trying to get Ray to chase one up and out of the strike zone.
Next pitch. And it's 2-2. Side, 2 up and 2 down. The home run hitters have been out in full force here tonight. In the 2nd inning, it was Fernando Vina over Rios's head inside the ballpark. A home run for Vina. Then Renteria went deep, just clearing the left field wall. Then in the 5th, Ray Lankford to dead center. 400 feet. Goodbye. Langford, home run number 7.
Oh, who? Thinking of home runs. Who's up?
Mr. Home Run, Mark McGwire. He's 1 for 1. 3 walks. Fooled by that off-speed delivery. Good pitch. Vina, Renteria, Langford, 1, 2, 3 in the order. We just showed you they have homered. And here's McGwire batting cleanup. Next pitch. A shot down the left field line, and that ball is fair. McGwire around first, and he'll stop at first now, trying into second because
it's a double.
A fan picked it up. Solid rope off the bat of McGwire.
Boy, this gets down the line. It's just never elevated. But you can see the tremendous velocity and a nice pick by the man down the... Yeah, the only difference between that swing and a home run swing is elevation.
McGwire stands at second with 2 outs.
Two for 2 with 3 walks on the night. We've seen that same type of extension. The eyes at the point of contact on his home runs is just sometimes you get a little top spin or you never get the ball in the air.
That brings in Edmonds. Edmonds has an RBI tonight. 27 now on the season for Jim Edmonds, and a couple of base hits. He's also struck out a couple of times tonight.
Now their fans are chanting to throw the fan out.
2 balls, no strikes on Edmonds.
That's ridiculous. Now it does cost a base, an extra base, but I mean,
they didn't say anything the time before.
Well, but this is what you do: is you talk to the people and say, "Hey, try to do it." But how can you expect people not to reach over when they're sitting that close?
And the wall is that low.
And the wall is that low.
Edmonds walks. 4 straight balls thrown to Jim Edmonds.
You know, you can explain the situation and say, you know, please don't do it again, but we want to make fans appreciate and friendly. I think the Giants handled it the right way.
The fan that got that ball had sunglasses on.
It's California.
10 to 10.
It's California, man. The moon's brighter here.
You did some shopping today, man. You're looking good. You stepped up to the, at least to the 90s, I'll say.
Thank you. John Gotti's dead.
Here's Paquette. Off-speed delivery. 1-1. You did. You went with that gangster look for a while last year.
Wait till tomorrow.
2 outs, first and second. Here in the 7th. Cardinals lead at 11-3. One ball and a strike. And it's 2-1. J.D. Drew awaits on deck, and he's had a nice night tonight, 3 for 4.
Oakey's going to get some damage right here.
He is 0 for 4 on the night. 2-1 pitch. Into right field. Well hit. Rios going back. One hopper off the wall. 1 run scores. That's McGwire. Edmonds around third. He will trot in. And a couple of more runs for the St. Louis Cardinals and 2 RBIs for Paquette. RBIs 13 and 14. And Al, a good piece of hitting, and he drove it into right field. Just went right with that pitch.
Well, that's what... you know, you just keep on battling, good things will happen. And there's what we talked about. The difference between pulling off a pitch, trying to pull that ball, or going with the pitch and driving it over the head of the right fielder. This is ball a long way. But that's a big part of the ballpark out there, and that's what makes this a fair park.
That makes it 13-3. Here's J.D. Drew. Right back to the pitcher. That does end the Cardinals, but more damage has been done. The lead is back up to 10. It's 13-3 St. Louis. Now let's go to the Fox Network Center for a look at what's coming up on the National Sports Report. Park, another big crowd on hand. Last night it was a sellout, over 40,000. Similar tonight. And the Cardinals are in control. 15 hits on the night. And it's 13-3 St. Louis as Garrett Stephenson, who is not sharp, Al, in this game, but is in line for the victory.
Well, it's in line for the victory, but I mean, he has to be disappointed in the fact that he can't go deeper in the game with his teammates giving him so much runs. And with a day game tomorrow, you know, he has that responsibility to the bullpen.
In steps Barry Bonds. To hit here in the 7th. Bonds, Kent, to J.T. Snow. Bonds just turned 36 in his 15th Major League season. You can make a case when it's all said and done, and if he continues to put up the numbers that he has done so in the past, you could make a case that this guy could be the best left fielder of all time. Now, that's saying a lot, but you got Stan Musial there. You've got Ted Williams. Skied into left center field. Did he go deep here? Leaping is Edmonds, and he caught it. Now they're saying it went out. There was an indication that he may have caught it. Now it goes out. Bonds is circling the bases. And a home run. Umpire had to wait. It looked like, Al, he was signaling that Edmonds may have caught it. He leaped for the ball, but he clears the wall, and nonetheless, it's now 13-4.
Yeah, I'll defend you all the way because the umpire running out, second base umpire immediately put his hand up. And you see Edmonds go up, and it does clearly get over the wall.
Take another look here.
Edmonds gave chase and just never really got there. I talked to Dave McKay about a couple balls last night that Edmonds kind of looked like he pulled up on. And,
you know, Bonds had stopped running, Al.
Yeah, because, I mean, he's looking out there, and the way Jimmy kind of indicated you couldn't tell, but I think we looked at the umpire, and the umpire initially did raise his hand.
He called it out.
Like he's calling it out. But you can see the ball will go over the fence. And it is beyond the jump. And see there, you know, you have fans that also can reach over. That's the toughest call for an umpire, too, because you got fans that can reach over and take a ball away. But that was clearly a home run.
Next pitch by he flips Slocum, and he walks Jeff Kent. He originally signaled that it was an out. Then in the same motion, circled the bases. And the way that Edmonds came down, you thought he had it.
Well, there were a couple balls last night that, as I said, it looked like Edmonds kind of pulled up on it. And what he said was he felt he kind of had tracked a couple balls, but then all of a sudden it took off on him. And so this time you see him just keep on going after it and just ran into the wall. But it clearly was a home run.
Brings in J.T. Snow. Nobody out, a man aboard. Slices that one into the seats. J.T. Snow has the 5th highest fielding percentage among first basemen in Major League history, and batting now exclusively from the left side. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Next by Slocum. And it's 1-2. It's a big lead. It's 13-4. Left-handed batter, so McGuire plays behind the runner at first.
I thought we were just going to show you the ball that got away from the bullpen coming into that shot. So we get to show you how you play back behind the runner and the ball coming in from the bullpen.
We've had a chance to nearly watch 2 complete games. Next pitch, hit to the right side and a base hit. Even though McGuire was not holding on, doesn't matter. Big throw by J.D. Drew, cut off by Renteria, so it's 1st and 3rd Nobody out here in the center.
Well, that's another reason why you don't hold somebody on, is because you become a better defensive man. You got more range, and you can go to your right or to your left. In that case, JT gets his third base hit, 3 for 4 in the night. See, if you're holding a man on, you have no chance. That one there was too far in the hole, even with him not holding on.
This is where Slocum runs into problems in his second inning of work. Whether you're up 13-4 or 5-4, he struggles in his second inning of work.
Well, he gave 2 great innings in Cincinnati. Retired all 6 men he faced, but you're right. It seems like a pattern where he will get out of the first inning and then come out for his second inning and struggle.
Here is Armando Rios. Warming up in the Giants bullpen, Felix Rodriguez. Cardinals have action in their bullpen.
Mike James and the Redbirds.
I was saying before, nearly 2 games in the books here in San Francisco for the Cardinals, and the next pitch by Slocum is inside. What have you thought of the ballpark, just from a playing standpoint?
Oh, I like it, you know, because it's big, it's beautiful, it plays very fair. We've had a lot of home runs, but it's not a home run, you know, typical park. Hitters have earned their home runs with pitches that, you know, said hit me. We haven't seen anybody take a one-arm swing and hit it to the opposite field. They've crushed the balls they've hit out.
Next pitch, Vina. The flip to Renteria on to first, and they get the double play. Vina started it to Renteria, then over to McGuire.
Another run crosses the plate, but no RBI on a double play ball.
Brings in Rich Aurelia. 0 for 2 last night. And he's 1 for 2 tonight with a walk. Rounded into a double play back in the second. Average at 228.
You know, what I like about this too is we've already seen one of the most exciting plays, an inside the park home run. You can see that you can get a lot of doubles and triples.
It's a pretty neat configuration, that wall down the right field line. It's a 308, then you go into right center, 365, and kind of comes in, then back out, 421, 399 to center, 382 in left center.
You get these little different angles, and see, this is, I mean, they've already had the ground rules changes. At one time, that yellow line there, if the ball hit to the right of the yellow line,
and that's the line in right center.
Yeah, the right center. If the ball hit out there and it caromed into the stands, at one time it was a ground rule double. And they've changed it as of yesterday with the ground rules that now if it caroms to the left and goes into the stands, it's a home run. I'm still trying to figure out something. I've never gone to a ballpark and be issued ground rules. Or they've given to, you know.
And in Tony's office, did you see that? They had a whole laundry list of them.
Yesterday, they gave me a copy of the ground rules. Like a 5x7 card. It's posted up on the wall in our broadcast booth.
Full count now on Rich Aurelia. Ground ball hits sharply, and there's Vina. He is automatic to McGuire, and that's the third out to end the 7th. Giants get a couple. It's still the 13-5 St. Louis. List for Fox Sports. That's his back right there, guys.
Lon Simmons to his left with longtime broadcaster here in St. Louis and Bob Rose. Who they're talking to. You can guess the other one.
We promise that's him.
Madden's very in tune with what Bob's saying.
Man was with Tony La Russa before the game and on the field, checking out batting practice. Felix Rodriguez to enter this game for the San Francisco Giants. And he will deal first off with Eli Marrero. Thomas Howard has stepped on deck. And in the top of the order in Vina.
Felix was a converted catcher.
Six.
13-5 St. Louis here in the 8th. Eli into center field. But that'll be put away, and that is the first out in center. One out here in the 8th. Calvin Murray in center put that away. Off the bat of Eli Marrero. Marvin Bernard moved from center to right.
Crespo is out in left field and bat third in Bond's spot.
Here is Thomas Howard with one out here in the 8th. Howard hitting for Slocum. And Vina is on deck. 13-5 St. Louis. Darren Holmes warming up in the St. Louis bullpen. Pat Hinton last night suffered his 4th straight loss as the Cardinals dropped the opener of the series 6-4. They're up tonight 13-5. Andy Bennis will go tomorrow. 2-0 pitch. And it's 2-1.
Rodriguez signed as a catcher in the Dodger organization and realized he had a good arm and made a conversion. Doesn't look like a catcher, though, does he? Tall and lanky.
Not at all.
And it was just a thrower, but now he's starting to put things together.
Slap foul by Howard. He has played for Los Angeles, Cincinnati, Arizona. 27-year-old. He was acquired from Arizona back in 1998. Last season, he worked in middle and long relief. Got highs in nearly every category. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thomas Howard. Foul back again. Howard has 12 RBIs and 3 home runs. He's only had 30 at-bats this season. 2-2 pitch. And it's fouled away again. I think you'd have to say Thomas Howard has been the Cardinals' best threat off the bench, although there is some depth there this season with Polanco and Davis when he doesn't play.
No, but this is the man.
Yep.
This is the guy that is the money player coming off the bench.
And a grand slam in Houston. And won that game in Houston off the bench. Fouled away again. Good at bat by Thomas Howard.
And this crowd is starting to thin out, and I'm sure it's another sellout here at Pacific Bellpark. And seating capacity is 40,800. It's pretty good. They have 4,800 parking spaces. 4,800 parking spaces for 40,800. It's a good ratio.
Yeah. Left side. Bobbled by Miller. Across the diamond, he got it. Second out here in the 8th. Good play by St. Louis and Bill Miller. Here's Vina. Up there hacking like he always is and fouls that away.
In a 13-5 game, it's time to get some construction materials out. Okay?
Let's figure this ballpark out.
Yeah, it was built by more than 2,000 construction workers. Got 2,103 piles. Wherever piles are. But there's 34 miles of piles.
I'll leave that up to you. Vina in the right field. Did he go deep again? No. Right in front of the wall. Taken down by Bernard. Got under it just a bit. Fernando was bidding for his second home run. This one was going to leave the ballpark, but not quite enough.
I was just getting to the rebar.
We'll do it when we come back. Folks can't wait for that. 13-5 St. Louis. Long game here in San Francisco. 13-5 Cardinals. You'll be tuned in for that one, won't you?
Hey, I could give you a Golden Gloves story, or I could give you the rebar story, or we can do Darren Holmes.
Well, there's Darren Holmes, but tell us about your stories about this ballpark.
Okay. There you see the rebar. There's 10,199 tons of rebar, 4,066 tons of structural steel, 653,284 numbers of brick, 8 miles of railing. Everybody wants to know about the caulking sealant. 17 miles worth of caulking sealant. But this is an interesting note. There is enough concrete in the ballpark to build a sidewalk from Pacific Bell Park to Dodger Stadium. How about that?
That's saying
From
something.
San Francisco to Los Angeles, there's that much concrete to build a sidewalk that can reach each other. Sutton over here at first base. He will bat fourth. And Polanco should lead off in the Cardinals' ninth inning. He's playing shortstop, place of Renteria. And this is a perfect opportunity to give a little work to Darren Holmes as you try and get him back after his release from Arizona. You know, he had approximately 2 weeks off. You can throw all you want on the side, but until you get into game conditions, you know, you're still trying to find your location.
Estalella to lead it off, and there's 3 balls and no strikes here in the 8th. 13-5 St. Louis on top. There's a strike by Holmes. Holmes would love to have that pitch back against Ken Griffey Jr. on Sunday. Came in, had a 2-run lead, left down by 2.
Took the loss in that ball game.
Hit right on the button. There's Polanco. Gets up and throws. That's a nice play by Polanco over to Sutton.
If you're a bench player, you've got to be prepared at a moment's notice to come in. And first of all, you want a ball hit to you, but you don't really want to have one hit that hard. But this guy knows how to play. Plays it to the side, snares it, gets up, and then throws him out. Larry Sutton is also a very fine first baseman, so even when you put in the defensive guys, you don't miss a beat, and the Cardinals are close to having another errorless game.
Brings in Calvin Murray, the Pacific Coast League Player of the Year last season. All kinds of speed. Played back on the Olympic team in 1992. His average is at 372.
He hit .334, 23 home runs, 73 RBIs, and stole 42 bases for Fresno. That's why he was the Giants minor league player of the year, or Pacific Coast League player of the year.
Called up a couple of times by the Giants last season. Next pitch, hit into right. J.D. Drew makes the play. Good play by J.D. in right. Got a good jump on that ball. That's the second out.
Yes, he did. And of course, his speed came into play as that ball's going to slice away from him. Good pitch down and away. Hit that way, and J.D. snares it.
And that is the second out here in the 8th. Brings in Bernard, who moved from center to right last inning. The leadoff man here in San Francisco. Once Holmes gets acclimated to St. Louis and gets into some type of rhythm, you would expect him to be a pretty decent pitcher out of the bullpen.
You would think that he would fit in line to be able to put some of those innings, the 7th and 8th innings. He's done it in the past.
Popped up, shallow center. Polanco made it look easy. Good job by Darren Holmes here in the 8th. A 1-2-3 8th. Cardinals on top, 13-5. Disco 13-5, and the Cardinals are on top. 15 hits for St. Louis tonight. In steps Polanco. First pitch is in there for a strike. Polanco's seeing his first action at the plate tonight. Made a couple of good defensive plays last inning. 0-1 pitch. It's quickly 0-2. Polanco is batting .438 when he starts. He had 2 home runs in 133 career games entering the season. He's already had 3 in 22 games this year. That's a product, number one, of him getting a little bigger and stronger, but he's the perfect case as far as balls flying out of the ballpark. Guys that normally didn't do it now are doing it. Langford is on deck. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Struck him out. Good pitch. First out here in the 9th. Coming up next, it's the all-new National Sports Report, the nightly show that gives you a complete wrap-up of all the day's sports news. Royals and Tigers, the Knicks and Heat, Flyers and the Penguins, game number 6 in the NHL playoffs. All those highlights coming up on the National Sports Report following this Cardinal victory. Here's Langford. Larry Sutton, who homered last night, is on deck. Langford is homered here tonight. Part of the hit parade. 15 hits on the night for St. Louis. Ray is 2 for 4 with a single, a home run, a couple of runs scored. Average at .212.
Fastball away.
0-1 pitch. Make it 0-2.
Come on, Ray, have a good night. Already had a good night, but let's just make it that much better.
Last night he had a couple of hits. He was 2 for 4. Couple of hits here tonight. And it's 1-2. Sometimes you think you see signs of Ray turning it around, and then he'll have 2 awful games and then come back and start hitting the ball a little bit again. One ball, 2 strikes.
Just missed with that fastball off the plate.
Guys in the truck love these long kind of games. They don't mind being here at all, especially when the Cardinals are on top. 13-5.
Good rip there.
Do you see things with Langford that would make you believe that he's coming out of it?
Yeah, one of the things I see is that he's walking more. When you're walking more, he's starting to see the ball a little more better. But you know, when you look at this guy is got the kind of stuff that can be really troublesome for Ray, because he's got an overpowering fastball that he can throw that by Ray. He's going to try again for that fastball.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Now full count.
He laid off that one. And that's one you've got to lay off. But he throws the ball you know, above the waist or above the hands of Ray, you know, he can't hit that. They're just fastballs they're throwing to him.
Next by Rodriguez, and he struck him out. Second strikeout for Felix Rodriguez in this inning. 2 outs.
Rodriguez starting to make his pitches. You know, and because he's had the great arm, now he's starting to get a feel for what to do with it on the mound.
In steps Larry Sutton. Picked up his second career pinch hit home run here last night. Helped the Cardinals crawl back into it, but to no avail as the Cardinals dropped game 1 of this 3-game set, 6-4.
Picked up a big RBI sacrifice fly in the Cincinnati series.
2 outs now. First pitch to Sutton.
It'd be a good test to see how Larry handles a hard thrower. He got a changeup last night that he hit for a home run. Had some really good credentials as minor league players, as minor league seasons.
Two balls, no strikes on Sutton.
Based on what he did in spring training, you can tell that he really has an idea of how to plate and how to work a count in his favor.
Sutton was hitting .270 in 23 games at Memphis before being called up. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-1. Edmonds awaits on deck.
Rodriguez just has that nice, easy motion, and then the ball just jumps out of his hand. A lot of life to his delivery.
Kind of a lanky guy. Looks like he's very flexible. Has that long wingspan, so to speak. A lot of the good pitchers, Al, as you well know, have that lanky body and that flexibility.
Flexibility is really a key. And of course, it seems like a lot of the Latin players, and he's from Dominican, free and easy and have that ability to throw, you know, day after day, and so they're almost perfect relievers. And that's the kind of a bat that you expect from Sutton. And he's not going to swing at the pitches that are off the plate.
It's been a long night for Dusty Baker and the Giants. 2 outs here in the 9th. Sutton draws the 2-out walk. And that brings in Edmonds.
Talked to Edmonds about, you know, he plays in every day and playing every day. And said, "How you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm kind of at the stage where I need more than a day off." And so he said, "If I only get 1 day off, I'd rather play."
They may give him the day off tomorrow, then you wrap that around the off day on Thursday, and then have him play that series over the weekend.
That's the type of situation that you look for. You know, it's the 2-for-1, and even more than that, because you get a night game on Friday, so you hope that just kind of recharges your battery.
Yeah. I don't want to say he didn't look like he wasn't into it tonight, because you can't say that. He's been on base 3 times, but sometimes he just doesn't seem that he's at 100%, even though you know he's given 100%. One of those nights is tonight.
Hey, but you know, if that's the night and he gives you 2 for 4 and a walk.
Isn't that the truth? Into left field, and Edmonds flies out. He's 2 for 5 on the night. 13-5 St. Louis. San Francisco, Pacific Bell Park. Justin Brunette, we get to see him close out this victory. Not a safe situation, obviously. Brunette comes in with a 13-5 lead, and this is a little better situation than coming in and facing Ken Griffey Jr. like was the case possibly over the weekend.
Well, this is, you know, if he's going to be up here, you need to pitch him a little bit. This is his 3rd appearance. And it's even better if you can get him to where he walks off the mound after his inning of work and get the glad hand, the handshakes of completing a victory.
Here is Bill Miller.
Justin's really not quite ready. He's going to be a major league pitcher. And he missed the entire '98 season, where he had his left elbow. He had the Tommy John surgery. Last year he started at Peoria, and then he went to Little Rock. So he never pitched in AAA before this year. And because of Roscoe and Radinsky not healthy yet, you've kind of rushed him up here. And Tony's been kind of reluctant to use him.
2-1 pitch. 3 balls and a strike on Miller.
So he's going to be a little bit trying to find the strike zone. And of course, he's got a lot of heart palpitations right now, getting in only his 3rd major league game.
And he walks Miller here in the 9th. Hey, Cardinal fans, today's play of the game is brought to you by Bud Light. The great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. Thank you, Mr. Vina. This is a inside the park home run. Fernando Vina, his first home run in a Cardinal uniform.
It's a 3-run home run, and that was in the 2nd inning. And he got around those bases quickly. He didn't really turn it on until after he saw that ball get down after he ran to first base. Jerry Davis said he did go around. So
Felipe Crespo.
This guy is put together, and the ball jumps off his bat. Hitting .438, 1 home run, 7 RBIs, and just 16 at bats.
Breaking ball and way ahead of that pitch. Pulls it foul.
Phyllis Bruckle and Scott Canepa wish to send greetings to family and friends back home in St. Louis. They said they are having a buzzing time.
A buzzing time.
Buzzing time. Translate it for me.
I'll leave that up
Foul
to you.
Ball, foul ball.
Yeah. So you decide to read the greetings when it's 12:30 back home.
Well, I didn't.
Nice guy.
Maybe they aren't supposed to be together.
Well, that was pretty good.
Sometimes you got to remember there's 2 different last names. Family show.
No balls and 2 strikes. Gets away from Eli. A little rough start here for Burnett here in the 9th.
Wild pitch. Kind of jumps at hitters, which is a little deceiving, and Eli getting a little tired, I would imagine, too. And kind of hit the plate, and then you really don't, then it kind of submarines on you and makes it a tough play. But I'll still take our catchers over anybody.
Figure Eli was still sore after catching Rick Ankiel the other day.
I went to him after the game, and I said, I'm going to hit you. Kind of looked at me funny, and I said, well, it's been probably 15-20 minutes since your last hit.
Burnett is set. Into shallow right. J.D. Vina makes the play. That's the first out with Miller at second.
J.D. still, a little tentative, and Vina, boy, I tell you what, he does exactly what you're supposed to do. You go back until you're called off, but you can see how tough that is. He makes it look easy, but you're backpedaling, running sideways, and the other guy's coming in with great speed. That's much easier play for the right fielder.
How many times have we seen that happen this year, where Vina's backing up and JD's coming on? And
well, you know what happened was, the one time they almost collided early in the game, and Vina tried to, tell him, hey, you've got to be more demonstrative. You got to tell me, you got to yell out there and let me know, or I'm going to keep on going back. So instead of taking charge, he becomes, less aggressive.
J.D. Drew in right field tonight at the plate. He's had a big night.
Now, he has a wealth of talent, but that's one thing when you really wish J.D. could light a fire underneath him. And I know there's been a lot of great players that have that same personality, but boy, you'd just like to see him be a little more aggressive. And right now it's not part of his nature.
This is Jeff Kent. He's had a solid night. 2 for 3, a 2-run homer, his 9th. Off the end of the bat. Easy play there for Edmonds. Second out, and the Cardinals aren't out away from another victory here tonight. And the victory will be number 20 on the season. And Burnett has settled down.
You know, I mean, it's like every time you're out there, your heart's racing. You're still excited. And remember, too, he hasn't been out there for a while, so finding the strike zone takes a little bit of time. I like the way he jumps at hitters. I mean, that's deceptive. Got a little breaking ball that, you know, it's got a little, could fool some people.
J.T. Snow has had a nice night tonight. One of the things that you notice is that he's not in great fielding position now.
Who cares? He's a pitcher. I mean, you want, you know, seriously, you want somebody that throws 50%.
There's a shot into right field. J.D. comes up, gun it. They let it come through, and safe at the plate is Miller. And it's 13-6.
4-hit night for JT. And his 12th RBI, so usually a very slow starter, and he's kind of gotten off to that start a little bit here, but he's making up for it and getting another hit off a left-hander has to be good. Watch JD. He's got a great throwing arm. He's got his momentum coming forward. At least this time, he doesn't short hop the cutoff man. But still, you know, he's got to find that release point to where he's short enough to where he could carry that ball a lot further. But you know what my point is sometimes guys sacrifice velocity and throwing to the plate to get in the fielding position. Your job is to throw the ball there. Now, after you release it, you know, you have to become a fifth infielder. But if it's an advantage to you to have your momentum going forward, not put yourself in a good fielding position, that's what you've got to do. You're going to get drilled sometimes. You're going to get hit. And you're not. And some balls are going to go through the middle. But I don't think that is I don't think that's as important as people make it out, unless you're thinking you're going to get drilled every time.
This is Doug Mirabelli watching 4 go by, and Burnett walked him. Now Dave Duncan's going to talk it over with Burnett. Probably just tell him to settle down, relax, and get this final out.
Well, you come out and you say, young man, you've finally given up an earned run. You have an ERA now. It's no longer 0. Now let's go get the game over with. And don't walk anybody.
Burnett was very good this spring. It brought up in somewhat of an emergency spot because of the injuries to Radinsky and Orozco. First and second. Here's Aurelia. Now 5 straight balls thrown by Burnett. Next pitch. And it's 2-0. That's in there for a strike. 2-1.
These Giants, you know, they really can't afford to swing if he's throwing balls out of the strike zone. They have to battle back. Trail by 7. Away.
Now the Cardinals are a strike away from win number 20.
You ever see Bob Gibson, the way he threw and his follow through? He had 9 Gold Gloves, just in case you wondered.
Boy, talk about belaboring a point. I see you smiling over there. It's all right.
Okay, thank you.
Now full count on Aurelia.
Dave Veers throwing there, needs to get a little work, but you're really hoping you don't use it.
3 balls, 2 strikes, and he walked him. And the game will continue. That's going to be all for Justin Brunette.
Okay, he's appearing for the 16th time. He has 6 saves, ERA under 3. More strikeouts than innings pitched. Same said about hits, but all he needs is 1/3 of an inning. Just a little tune-up for a save tomorrow. This is not a save situation.
Bases are loaded. Bobby Escalera. Escalera had 2 home runs and 4 RBIs last night, trying to extend this game. Escalera is the only player that has a grand slam at Pac Bell Park.
He has an opportunity here, but I would doubt that he will see that good a pitch from Dave Veers.
They set up outside. The 0-2 pitch. Driven into right field. J.D. near the wall. Puts it away, and a Cardinal victory. Victory number 20 on the season. And the Cardinals win it as Dave Veers gets the final out. 13-15-0 for St. Louis. 6-11-1 for San Francisco. 13-6 the final. Andy Bennis and Kirk Reeder tomorrow afternoon.
Now, once again, 13 runs. Vina was big with 3 RBIs, and inside the park home run. That was in the 2nd inning. They got 2 in the 1st, 8 in the 2nd, and the Cardinals go on to win 13-6.
It took 3 hours, 28 minutes, but the Cardinals do it. They win it. Dodgers and Cardinals. Friday is our next telecast on WB11 at 7 o'clock. For all the gang here in San Francisco, for Al Grabowski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Thanks for being with us. National Sports Report is coming up next.